Live. People in chat, can you hear me? Hey, hey, hey. Let's do it. Everybody say Hubie Halloween if you can hear me. Hubie Halloween. Everybody here? Wow, we already got, okay, that's awesome. We already got like 200 people gathered. I was gonna kind of vamp at the top to let people show up. Hey, hey, hey. There's those Hubie Halloweens coming in hot. Hubie Halloween, Hubie Halloween. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is huge. We're past the halfway point of the campaign. So we're doing a live read of the entire script. Thank you for showing up. Obviously, this is all in support of the Kickstarter, onyxthemovie.com. If you haven't backed the film, maybe consider backing it tonight. Maybe sit back, have a drink, watch the live stream, and see what you think of the script before backing. But we're hoping that a lot of people show up tonight so we can fight the lull, the mid-campaign lull, and induce a surge, as I've been saying, and everybody loves the terminology I've been using around that. Everybody's here. Sophie, everybody's here. Everybody's hidden right now in little secret windows behind me, but I don't think I have to hide them for too long because there's a lot of people popping in. Hey, Nick. Hubie Halloween, Hubie Halloween. So as we do this, feel free to go to the Kickstarter page, back if you haven't backed, consider upping your pledge if you have backed, and maybe share the link around. You know, tell everybody something really awesome is popping tonight on Bowser Vid's YouTube. Yes, Killian, it is going to be epic. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to be reading this out loud for people when I've just been living with it for the last few months. And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to now not only ask all of these wonderful actors to read it, but invite all of you to witness it. But I'm super excited. Let's go ahead and bring everyone in because there's enough people in chat. I think we should just get the show on the road. And don't forget, it's onyxthemovie.com. We're doing this to get the Kickstarter popping this weekend. Here's everybody. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little introduction of our cast, and then we will begin. We have Rivka Reyes playing Mac. We have Xander Berkeley playing Bartok. Rico Anderson is playing Mr. Duke. Jason Marsden is going to be doing a number of roles for us tonight. Jama Mays is going to be playing Shelly. And Kelsey Gunn is going to be doing a number of roles for us as well, popping around a couple different characters. Olivia Taylor Dudley is going to be playing Farah. Rachel Ancheril is going to play Angelique. And then we have Ryan Stanger, of course, reprising his role of Todd. And he'll also have a secret role that happens later in the film. And then reading the script for us tonight, all of the action and direction is going to be Ryan Cartwright. Ryan Cartwright is here with his sweet, soothing, dulcet tones to guide us through this evening. There he is. There he is. All right. So is everybody feeling good? Everybody in the cast ready to go? Everybody can, everybody can unmute.
Woo! Oh yeah.
Excited. All the voices. All right.
Hubie Halloween.
Hubie Halloween.
Hubie
Halloween, everybody.
Halloween.
That's the unstable internet connection in Montreal on location, so just warning.
Yes. Hopefully the Zoom gods will bless us this evening and we'll all have fortuitous connections, as it were. So I think we should get started. Without further ado, let's read Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls.
External, foggy cemetery, night. We are staring at a pentagram on the ground drawn in salt. The white salt mixes slightly with the soil and thick candles act as demarcation around the crudely drawn sigil. Lightning strikes as a hooded man leans into frame. He raises a knife high and begins to speak a command loudly.
Give me the power, I beg of thee.
The man jams the knife into his left eye and begins to dig. Wind kicks up and leaves swirl around the cemetery as the man shoves the blade deeper into his own eye socket. The candle flames flicker and the salt blows away slightly as the man wails in pain. With one final twist and a pop, his eye exits his skull and he catches it. The man shakily places the eye into the center of the pentagram.
I have given my blood. I have given my sight. Now, Master, bring me what I desire.
The man bandages himself as he stares at the pentagram. After a moment passes, the dirt rises with waves of jittering force. The eye is sucked down into the earth. The man backs away in fear and excitement. Blood begins to spill up from the dirt and mix with the salt and candle wax. The man widens his eye and begins to laugh maniacally.
Yes, yes.
Suddenly, a hand juts through the dirt and grabs the ground before it. The hand is clawed and the skin scaly. A second arm pushes through and digs into the shifting soil. A monster has been loosed. The man looks to the sky and screams as lightning strikes again.
Give me the power, I beg of thee.
Cut to black. Internal suburban house, bedroom, day. The room is dark, moody. All of the blinds and shades have been drawn in an attempt to block out light. The camera adjusts to find a chubby man sitting cross-legged on a mattress on the ground. He is wearing a hooded cloak that partially covers his face. There are numerous lit candles around him. The camera adjusts a bit more, then settles on a composition. Surrounding the man are large posters and various paraphernalia featuring a goateed man dressed in black robes and wearing an ornate eye patch. On one of the posters, in large Gothic lettering, is the name Bartok the Great. The chubby man speaks without looking to camera.
Tell me when to go.
Yeah, go.
The chubby man clears his throat and speaks in a commanding but nervous voice.
Greetings, O masterful one. I am but a lowly minion sitting here before you, crisscross applesauce, consummately at your infernal service, and forever in your eternal debt. I don't know. My name is Marcus J. Trilbury, but my friends, my many, many friends, call me...
The man drops his hood to reveal his face in full.
Onyx the Fortuitous, Slayer of the Bright Realm. I don't know.
Intercut between interview and B-roll. Exterior field day. Onyx, still cloaked, walks in a creek looking round wistfully while the camera follows him. He picks up rocks from the creek bed and places them in a small basket.
I have been a devilish devotee of yours for more years than I can count. I have purchased all of your books.
We see Onyx holding numerous books written by Bartok, with titles like The Devil's Not a Bad Guy, Trust Me, I've Met Him, and How to Turn Your Cat into a Satanist.
Listened to all of your records.
We see Onyx wearing headphones and holding numerous records by Bartok with titles like The Melodies of Mephistopheles and Oboe from the Great Beyond.
And even attempted to complete your at-home workout regimen, the Beelzebub Beef Up.
We see Onyx working out to Bartok's Beelzebub Beef Up tapes. Onyx is screaming, crying, while lifting a very small weight.
I only did 12 days out of the full 90, but I still got pretty freaking swole, so...
Onyx flexes awkwardly towards the camera. Exterior woods day. Onyx gathers sticks and breaks off various branches from trees. He tests a few of the branches for texture, strength, with his teeth, and approves.
But most importantly, I have been a diligent student of your teachings, having completed the online certification process for letting a little devil in, levels 101, 201, and 301.
Onyx holds up certificates for each class.
And I was approved for 401, but my mom said she didn't want me to spend any more money on the internet, full stop. And yes, that did include bidding on rare Digimon minifigs, even though last summer I was this close to winning a glow-in-the-dark Ultra Blue Zoodamon variant. God damn, I wanted that minifig so bad. But all in all, my collection still rules.
We see Onyx pose in front of glass cases housing hundreds of Digimon minifigs. Exterior road day. Onyx runs into the street and picks up a small crushed piece of roadkill. He then turns and skips back into the woods.
So when I heard, oh Lord, that you were running a contest for 5 of your most devoted followers to take part in a once-in-a-lifetime demonic ritual with you in person, I just knew it was my destiny to attend. I don't know.
Interior, suburban house, woman's bedroom, day. Onyx enters a room with a vast doll collection. He grabs a few dolls off wicker shelves and leaves.
So consider this my video submission, my official entry into Bartok the Great's grand getaway contest void where prohibited. I beg of thee to select me as one of the chosen 5.
Interior, suburban house, bedroom. As Onyx speaks, the camera slowly zooms out.
For I am the most dedicated of darkened disciples, the most fervent of fiery fanatics, and the most perpetuitous of putrid pupils.
As the camera zooms out, we see a makeshift shrine. There are dolls' heads, stones glued into the shapes of pentagrams, and weird tree men made of sticks and twigs dangling about. At the center of the shrine are numerous animal skulls mounted on a Digimon lunchbox.
I guess the only thing left to say is, notice me, senpai. Notice me. Oh, God, Mom!
The door to Onyx's room swings open, and all of the shades are immediately opened. Light spills into the room, showering Onyx and his shrine in blinding luminescence. We hear an angry female voice off camera.
What the hell are you doing in here, Marcus?
I told you I was making a video.
In the goddamn dark? What the hell is all this shit?
I'm making a video for the contest, I told you.
My dolls? Did you take my dolls' heads off?
It was for the video. I promise I'll put them back.
Rats?
The woman's hands push into frame and begin to grab the doll heads. The camera is knocked back.
You can't take them now. You'll disrupt the magic. You'll disrupt the magic.
Title slam, dramatic music cue. Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. Interior, suburban house, bedroom, night. Onyx sits at his computer uploading his submission video. He waits patiently as an upload screen shows a progress bar on a website labeled Bartok the Great's Grand Getaway Contest. We see details from around Onyx's room. Bartok records, workout equipment, and numerous volumes of Satanism for starters. We also see a signed 8x10 of Bartok shirtless, wearing a wolfskin cape. In most of the images, Bartok wears his eye patch, but in the younger images of Bartok, he has both of his devilish green eyes. We hear a ding and see a graphic flash on the screen that reads, "Upload complete. Thank you for your submission." An animated image of Bartok with arms outstretched pops up and bounces. Onyx breathes in and out deeply. He grabs a black Marty's Meat Hut visor off a hook and black apron off a chair corner before exiting the room. Interior, suburban house, hallway, dining room. Onyx makes his way down the hallway and enters the dining room. A middle-aged man sits at the dining room table dressed in a suit and tie. Onyx's mother, Nancy, stands at the kitchen counter making dinner.
Is everything put back where you found it?
Yes, Mom.
Even Holly Little Puddin' Pants?
Even Holly Little Puddin' Pants. Woo!
A man seated at the table laughs to himself. Onyx notices.
Where are you headed? You don't work on Fridays.
Thanks for invading my privacy, Todd. You don't know me. Hard truth is, Tino was fired for pissing in the sweet tea tank for the 3rd time, so I'm picking up his shift.
All right. Well, when should I expect you home? Should we save you some dinner?
Yeah, actually, it might be kind of late, actually, so I wouldn't worry about it.
What, big plans?
What's that?
Todd lets out an obnoxious belch.
Bleh. What, big plans? Plans so big that we should save you dinner?
Yes, actually, Todd. Me and some of my friends might just go out and tear around town, you know, flipping stuff up and ripping stuff down. So.
Onyx nods toward Nancy.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
Onyx whips his attention back to Todd.
What's that?
Hey, if you've got so many friends, how about I just save a place for them at the table? That way they all can join us. We can have all your friends over for dinner.
Why do you wear a full suit and tie every goddamn day, Todd? You sell wholesale buckets of doomsday mac and cheese over the phone.
Because the clothes make the man. Clearly a lesson you could learn.
I told you not to call me Marcus anymore. My name is Onyx the Fortuitous, and I am proud of what we accomplish at the Meat Hut every day.
Nancy turns around from the counter,
Boy.
furious.
Boys, you have been a family now for over a year. Kinds of yelling matches will not be tolerated. Marcus, I'd expect this out of you if your dad were still in the house. But Todd, is one of the good ones. Your stepfather and my lover.
Onyx winces.
So now, please, everyone, just take a breath with me.
Nancy takes a deep breath in. Todd and Onyx begrudgingly do the same.
Here we go. Deep breath in. And out.
As Onyx exhales, he speaks breathily in Todd's direction.
Fuck you, Todd.
Todd does the same.
Fuck you, Onyx the fartootist.
Fuck you, Todd.
Fuck you, Marcus.
Boys!
Interior, Marty's Meat Hut, night. Marty's Meat Hut is a pretty rundown fast food joint. Everything looks a bit faded and all surfaces feel like they are covered with a thin layer of grime. Onyx rips a meal order ticket off the food line and dings a bell.
Order up. Number 46. Hold the slaw, extra slaw. Prairie pepper hot sauce on the side with a slap of pickles.
Onyx scoops some slimy pickle slices onto a platter and slides it down to the end of the food line. Vera, another Meat Hut employee, grabs the food and begins to walk it out to a customer. Onyx does a double take toward the platter.
Ah,
Vera stops.
feel the weight on that. You're one fry short.
Suddenly, multiple beeps are heard in the kitchen. Onyx runs and turns the fry oil temperature down with one hand, while popping a tray of Pop-Tart-style desserts out of a toaster oven, flipping them, then closing the oven with his foot. Clearly, he is in his element. Onyx pulls a set of keys off his belt and spins them around his pointed finger.
Trash run, Vera. Back in 5.
Okay.
Exterior, Meat Hut, dumpster area. Onyx tosses a trash bag into a dumpster. We see a stoned employee sitting on the curb smoking a cigarette.
Darrell, I need you in there bad, my man. This Friday night rush is hitting something fierce.
But I might... on my smoke break.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you got here 3 hours ago, clocked in, and then immediately started your smoke break.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Then, fuck off?
Yeah, copy.
Onyx steps back inside the building. Interior, Meat Hut, front counter. A customer stands at the counter as Onyx whips gloves off.
Pardon me, could I get some?
Onyx pulls 2 squeeze bottles out of clips on his belt and cross-hands them.
Chicory Caterwaul sweet no-so sour sauce?
Yes.
I got you.
Onyx begins to squirt on the woman's fries.
Say when?
The woman breathes in, sensuously.
When?
Onyx smirks and slides the squeeze bottles back into the small holsters. The customer steps away to reveal a skinny preteen kid stepping up to the counter.
I've come to collect what is mine.
God damn it, Dennis. Why you always have to be so creepy?
Gives it to me. Wants it.
Dennis makes weird smacking sounds with his mouth.
What the hell are you talking about?
Dennis drops
What?
his voice.
You said you'd give me 3 beefy bad boy meal coupons if I helped you make that stupid video, Marcus. Now pay up.
Dennis holds out his hand. His fingertips are colored red, blue, purple. This kid is spotted with candy and juice stains.
All right, just give me a minute. They're in the back.
Dennis hisses. Onyx screams, then heads to the back room. Interior, Meat Hut, back office. Onyx opens a door to an office. A defeated woman sits at an old PC playing online poker. Onyx grabs a small cash box and opens it with an elongated black skeleton key. He begins to count out coupons for Dennis.
Masha?
What, Marcus?
She loses a hand of poker.
Fuck!
I was wondering if you got my new name tag in yet?
Your what?
Remember how a few weeks ago I requested that my name tag read Onyx the Fortuitous? I even applied for a new one through corporate and everything.
That's not your name.
Yeah, well, technically the one I have now isn't my name either. I'm Marcus Trilbury, but this says Marquay Dickberry. It's been wrong since day one, and I've worked here 6 years.
We see the name tag. It does indeed read Marquay Dickberry.
Mark, if you want a different name tag, then check the junk drawer.
Onyx opens the drawer. Masha loses another poker hand.
Fuck me in the dirty cunt!
Onyx looks towards Masha, disturbed. Interior, Meat Hut, front counter. Onyx brings the coupons to Dennis.
There, 3 beefy bad boy coupons. Now, are we good?
Yes. Back to the shadows now. Until I ask for more from you.
Dennis slinks away, creepily counting his coupons as Onyx shakes his head. There are 3 new customers behind him when he leaves. Onyx looks up toward them.
Oh, God.
What's up?
Tanner looks at Onyx's name tag. It reads, Pussy Hand.
Pussy hound.
What's up, Tanner? What's up, Tanner's boys?
Both of Tanner's boas just bark at Onyx. Onyx shudders.
What can I do to make your day a bit beefier?
Oh, we are gonna need 12 beefy bad boy meals with monster style curly fries, sodas from the hounds, and a big glurp sized slushy, black cherry tapenade, and ginger beer sploosh mixed.
Onyx gasps.
Is that all?
And sweet squash toaster pie, slightly cooled. I don't want to be too hot on my baby mouth.
Onyx enters all of this information into his register computer.
Oh, and it's free and 5 on Fridays, right?
We whip up to a sign that reads, Fridays, your food in 5 minutes or it's free.
Yes, sir.
Onyx gulps.
Well then, better hop to.
Onyx turns around from the counter quickly. Interior, meat hut, kitchen area, front counter. 12 patties hit the grill. Fries get dipped in bubbling oil. The slushies get mixed. Toaster pies get toasted. Onyx returns to the counter.
Here you go, Tanner. Tanner's boys.
They bark again.
Just waiting on the burgers.
Tanner surveys the meals.
Ooh, not much time left.
Tanner looks down towards his watch. Onyx turns around toward Vera, who is taking her time individually plating up each burger.
10, 9, ooh, 8.
Onyx rushes over to Vera.
Let me show you a little trick they taught me back in training at the Meat Hut HQ.
Onyx grabs a metal skewer off a rack.
When in doubt, skewer it out.
Onyx skewers each patty in one smooth motion. Then, while holding them together, he walks the meat slabs to individual trays where their buns are waiting. Once at the tray, he lines the patties up and pushes them off the skewer with the graceful moves of a classical conductor. The patties hit the buns just as Tanner reaches 1.
1, time's up.
But I...
Onyx holds the trays up toward Tanner. Tanner flips the tray onto Onyx, and the boys laugh. Tanner then lifts his slushy cup over Onyx's head and pours. Slushy drips down Onyx's face as the bullies laugh. Ginger-flavored slushy spills onto Onyx's eyes as he shakes in anger. Exterior meat hut dumpster area. Onyx pushes angrily out of the back entrance of the hut. He's covered in slushy and sweat. Darrell sits, still smoking.
Tell Masha I quit.
What?
I said, tell Masha I quit.
Onyx throws the name tag on the ground near Darrell and walks off. Darrell looks down at the name tag. Interior meat hut back office. Darrell taps on the office door and leans in. Masha is still playing poker.
Yes.
Pussy hound quit. Masha swivels around in her chair, confused. Interior suburban house, living room. Nancy and Todd sit on the couch watching TV. Onyx slams the door behind him and sulks down the hallway towards his room. Todd sniffs the air.
Ugh. Something smells like loser and shit.
Onyx grimaces.
Did your friends cancel on you, Onyx?
Onyx continues down the hall.
Want me to run you a bath? You can use one of those gums if you want. Just not the pink one, that jasmine one. I've been saving it.
Onyx slams his bedroom door. After a beat, we hear him scream at the top of his lungs. Nancy and Todd listen. Then, after a beat, she speaks.
All right. Let me know if you need anything.
Interior suburban house, Onyx's bedroom. Onyx lays on his bed crying, still covered in slushy and beef juice.
Dear God, or the devil, whichever one's listening, I guess. I don't know. Could you please give me a different life? Different than the one I have right now, currently. I'd really, I would like a different life, please. Because I don't think this one's working out so well. So if you could just give me a different one, I would greatly appreciate it.
Onyx's prayer is interrupted by a loud chime from his computer. Onyx's eyes widen and he leaps out of bed. At his computer, he sees a message read, Bartok the Great's Grand Getaway. Onyx clicks the message and a large animated Bartok pops out of an envelope. The words, congratulations, fill the screen. Onyx starts yelping uncontrollably. In- Interior, suburban house, living room. Onyx bursts back into the living room.
I've been invited to Bartok's mansion to take part in a once-in-a-lifetime ritual in which he, along with 5 of his most loyal followers, will attempt to raise the spirit of the ancient demon Abaddon.
Todd rolls his eyes.
Well, you're not going anywhere until you scoop the litter box.
Interior, suburban house, laundry room. Onyx scoops the litter. We see him scoop, sift, and discard numerous turds. His cat watches from nearby, meowing. Exterior, Bartok estate, day. Many cars descend on the front drive of a large Victorian home. We see the 4 other guests step out of their respective vehicles. The first person to emerge is a young woman who is dressed sleekly and chicly in what looks to be goth couture. She has the hippiest haircut and numerous tattoos creeping out from a lacy top. This is Angelique. The next is an older man, Mr. Duke, dressed in a tweed suit and sporting a well-trimmed and rather full moustache. Next, a colourfully dressed woman steps out of a car and clutches numerous luggage pieces covered in sunflower print. Her name is Shelley. Out of another car, we see a person with short hair and small sunglasses appear. They are dressed in black, baggy clothes. They smoke a cigarette. Their name is Mackenzie. Finally, we see Onyx step out of a car carrying only his Digimon lunchbox and placing a fedora on his head. He looks up toward the house and beams with excitement. The group gathers in front of the house and get lost for a moment while they soak it all in. After a beat, the tweed man speaks first.
Well, let me break the proverbial ice, as it were. I am John Duke. I'm a teacher, so I'm used to being called Mr. Duke, and that's just fine by me. I'm from Ontario, and I couldn't be happier to be here with all you fine people.
The chic girl speaks next.
Hi, I'm Angelique. Call me Angelique. Do not call me Angie. I'm a tattoo artist from Vegas.
Onyx
And
opens.
don't you dare ask me how many tattoos I have. The question is rote and basic.
Onyx refrains from saying what he was going to say.
Sick. Oh no, is Rivka muted? Or do you hear her? Do you hear them? Oh no.
Here, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we hear you. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, you can take it back to your line.
All right. I'm Mac, and feel free to ask me how many tattoos I have. The answer is 1, and it's Snoopy on my ankle.
Oh, I love Snoopy.
And you can call me Mac or Mackenzie.
Yeah, or Z?
Sure, or Z. They, them. And what do I do? Well, I don't know. I'm a Mac from the Pacific Northwest.
Onyx is so stoked to be around these cool people. He's nodding his head excitedly.
So I'm Marcus, but I would really love it for all of you to call me...
Hi, I'm Shelley from Virginia. I'm a homemaker. I'm a mommy of 2 and a mommy to every new person I meet.
She points at every one of them.
Oh, and I just, well, I cannot believe we're here at Bartok's house. I mean, hello, right?
Onyx shrinks back. The group turns and looks towards the amazing house.
Yes, it is. It's truly a sight to behold.
The house seems to grow in size in front of them.
Yeah, it's the kind of house that makes you want to reenact Meatloaf's 1993 Michael Bay directed music video for I'd Do Anything for Love.
The group is silent.
Yeah, but I won't do that.
I'm going to go knock.
A beat.
Wonderful! Carpe diem!
Mr. Duke and Angelique walk briskly towards the house. Shelley runs behind them, making excited noises.
Ooh, life waits for no one. Let's go.
Onyx and Mac walk slowly.
What were you going to say?
What's that?
You weren't finished introducing yourself. Shelley cut you off.
Oh yeah. It was nothing. I was just going to say my name is Marcus, but I'd like to be called Onyx the Fortuitous, so.
They smile.
Cool. Nice to meet you, Onyx.
Onyx tips his hat in Mac's direction, and they walk toward the porch.
Nice to meet you, Z. So, all these people are Satanists?
Yeah, not quite what I expected either, but I guess that just goes to show you things aren't always as they seem.
They reach the porch. Everyone is standing near a large wooden box that rests on a podium.
What the fuck is this? It better not be some kind of puzzle.
Oh, God, let's open it, please. Oh, I hope it is exactly a puzzle.
Well,
Mr. Duke looks around.
I see no other way around.
They open the box. Inside are 5 necklaces, each with a large green crystal dangling from it.
Oh, emerald is my favorite.
Peridot.
Pardon me?
Oh, it's peridot.
Everyone looks toward Mac.
Emerald tends to have a deeper, more verdant hue, whereas peridots are lighter and more olive colored.
The group is impressed.
I love that you know that. Power and knowledge.
There's a note.
Angelique reaches towards the note. Shelley grabs it first. Angelique looks at Shelley with disdain.
Oh!
Shelley begins to read.
A warm welcome to the most devoted and devout of Bartok's betrothed. These necklaces are to cleanse you of any unwelcome spirits and external baggage before you enter this sacred and holy space. Before you each take a necklace, please place a personal item in the box. Leaving this item will help ground you to the house and act as an offering of familiarity.
Everybody starts taking a personal item and placing it into the box. Mr. Duke removes a fancy pen from his pocket and places it in the box. Angelique removes a dangly earring and does the same. Shelley takes a lipstick container from her purse and drops it in the box as Max slings a pack of cigarettes. Onyx opens his Digimon lunchbox and removes a small purple minifig.
Is that the only luggage you brought?
Well, it's got everything I need.
Onyx glances at the minifig wistfully before tossing it in the box. Shelley continues.
Okay, once you have left your item, please each of you place a crystal around your neck, speak the cleansing prayer, then step into the foyer.
They each excitedly take a necklace and place it around their neck. Mac and Onyx help each other get theirs on. Angelique hands them each a card for the cleansing prayer.
Shall we count us in 3, 2, 1?
They all begin to speak the cleansing prayer.
I am
now
now choosing
cleanse myself
cleanse myself
and
release
any and
all
energies
no longer
that are no longer of service
to the
highest and
and
greatest of all.
things of existence.
I ask that all
energies
energies
are
that are less than
less
love
than love
be
be
transmuted
for the
for the
greatest
greatest
good
good
of
of all.
greatest good of all.
So it is.
Each of the green crystals shimmer. Everyone reacts with surprise.
Oh, that was tight. Did everyone's do that with a little shimmer? That was tight. That's tight.
Suddenly, the front door opens with a loud creak and a unique chime that sounds like an array of organ pipe sounds. Everyone places their prayer card back into the wooden box, but Mac folds their card up and stuffs it in a pocket. Interior Bartok Estate, foyer. The group enters. They walk into the foyer and wait. The door slams behind them. They look around and murmur amongst themselves.
Oh, dang. You think I'd be scared, but I'm actually not scared.
He laughs uncomfortably.
It's okay.
Mac gives Onyx's hand a squeeze. Onyx is touched and looks around awkwardly. Suddenly, they see a dark figure make their way towards them. The figure begins to speak from afar in a loud, booming voice.
Welcome to Briardale Manor, Bartok's place of worship and his soul's retreat. I trust everyone is wearing their cleansing stone?
Everyone nods their heads and murmurs. Onyx's answer stands out.
Yeah, I got mine on.
And everyone signed their NDA?
Everyone nods their heads and murmurs. Onyx's answer stands out.
Yeah, I signed mine.
Perfect.
The figure takes down her hood, revealing a pink-haired, punky woman with a few facial piercings and a stylish choker. Her eyes are strikingly unique, one being blue and the other green.
I am Farah, delegate to Bartok and servant to our Dark Lord Lucifer. Hail Satan, son of light.
Everyone repeats this phrase, except for Onyx, who is just one step behind everyone.
Hail, Satan, son of light.
Yeah.
Follow me to meet our leader, soothsayer and truth speaker, Bartok the Great.
An excitement is palpable amongst the guests. Onyx whispers to Mac.
Are you scared, or you're just kind of chill?
They sweetly hush Onyx.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel like your default is kind of just to be chill, which is cool. I respect that.
Silence as we enter the great room of rituals.
Yep.
They enter a large room that is lined by many lit candles. A hooded man kneels in the center of the room. In front of him is a large, ornate knife held upright between two stones. On the floor is a large pentagram drawn with chalk.
Bartok speaks directly with Satan, hears his voice clearly without any fog or question, clouding his mind. Let us watch as he communes intimately with our shadowed father.
Ferris steps over to a vintage record player and places the needle down. Loud music featuring chants begins to play. Bartok begins to speak in tongues and move closer to the knife. Mac grabs Onyx's hand. Maybe they're a bit scared. Onyx looks toward Mac, then back to the ritual. As Bartok prays, the candles blow out and reignite.
Oh, wonder how they do that. If it's on like some kind of timer, or like maybe they have like tubing that's running, or
Suddenly, Bartok begins to wail and unzips the front of his robe, revealing his bare torso. He pours oil down his body, then reaches for a bowl of spice and glitter and pours that down his body as well. Farah watches with focus. She takes a deep breath in. Bartok steadies himself over the knife.
Oh God.
Bartok wails loudly.
Oh God.
Bartok throws himself down on the knife, impaling his midsection. The group gasps, none as loud as Onyx.
Oh, fuck me!
Blood spills out from Bartok's body as it collapses over the stones.
Quick now, let us surround the circle.
Onyx winces. The group moves to stand at the 5 points of the pentagram.
Your leader has fallen. Does that mean your faith has also?
The group is silent.
Has your faith fallen as well?
No, it has not.
Farah smiles.
No, it has not.
Onyx looks toward Mac.
No.
No, it has not.
No,
Yeah.
it has not.
It has not.
Do you believe your leader can rise again?
Yes, we
we
do.
We do.
Then by the power of our dark lord Lucifer, may it be so.
Farah steps over to the robed man's body and removes the robe. There is no longer a body resting on the stones. The group gasps. Farah walks the robe to the center of the circle and drops it.
Let him rise. Say it with me.
The group's chants begin to sync with the music playing.
Let him rise. Let him rise. Let him rise.
Over and over, the music swells, the candles flicker, and the robe begins pop and poof up with energy.
Let him rise.
Let
him rise.
The robe
Let
now
him
heightens
rise.
and fills with
Let
the
him
form of a man. They continue to chant. Farah conducts them like a choir.
Let
Let
him
him
rise.
rise.
Let
Let
him
him
rise.
rise.
Man
Let
is
him
fully
rise.
formed in front of them. He removes his hood. There stands Bartok in the flesh, goatee, eye patch, and all. Everyone applauds.
I wish you didn't have to show us that gross thing first. I don't know. But I don't do well with blood. Just thinking about how we're all big old sacks of goo gets my head spinning something fierce.
Farah looks towards Onyx and smiles. He smiles back. He lets go of Mac's hand and waves toward Farah. Mac notices this exchange. Bartok speaks.
I wish he didn't have to show us that. Oh, who do I see before me? Children. Ancient beings, ideas, atoms. What are you really? Do you even know what you are? You.
Bartok points toward Shelley.
A mother of 2 rambunctious boys. They are joy, but they are draining. Are you more than mama? More than an errand runner constantly covered in goldfish dust and toddler snot?
Shelley nods her head in understanding. Bartok casts his gaze on Angelique.
An artist, you. A painter of flesh. Bodies are your canvas and they can be made beautiful, but is it lasting? What you give them, no. Fleeting. Time in our earthly vessels is but a flash. Flash. The flesh rots, bodies decay. Don't you wish to leave a more lasting mark and eternal one?
Angelique listens intently.
Yes, I do.
Bartok looks toward Mr. Duke.
A learned man, scholarly.
Mr. Duke straightens up with pride.
A man of letters and of truth, but sometimes more devoted to the facts than curious of the fantastical. That keeps you bound to man and bound to logic when is the last time a man of logic was swept up by a dream?
Mr. Duke takes this lesson in.
You.
Bartok looks towards Mac.
Strong-willed, independent, so independent, in fact, you have made yourself an island, a democracy of one. Now, who can challenge that? Who can vote you down? No one. But who wants to be invited to a party of one? No one.
Mac breathes in steadily.
Loneliness. It is crippling. Makes you feel so low. Next to nothing. Ah. And how poetic.
Bartok looks toward Onyx.
As you are quite literally standing next to nothing.
Onyx is wide-eyed as Bartok speaks to him.
You gonna roast me too?
You are not even here.
Huh?
There's no weight to you, no air displaced by your standing there, my friend. You are not even alive.
Yeah. Or like, metaphorically, or?
You, Marcus J. Trilbury.
Onyx leans in as Bartok dips to a whisper.
A
long pause.
Fast food employee. Oh yeah, ghost. No, yeah, got it.
But wouldn't you like to be more than that, Marcus? Wouldn't all of you like to be more than what the world has allowed you to be?
They each nod their heads slowly, even Onyx.
Then have no fear, for through me, you will all be made new. You were brought here, not by chance, but by destiny. This weekend, you will first take part in 3 rituals, all in preparation of the 4th and final, the Ritual of Abaddon, rising. And through the ritual, and under the blood moon, you will be reborn as disciples in his name, disciples of Abaddon, with renewed purpose, understanding, power, and, my children, immortality.
What?
The crowd gasps. They can't believe it. Farah begins to hand out ritual robes, pins, and fez hats to everyone.
Tonight, drink and eat in communion with one another, make merry, then rest. But tomorrow we will take the first steps toward your rebirth.
Bartok bows in their direction. Everyone applauds. Onyx looks down at his Disciples of Abaddon pin. Surrounding a demon's skull are the letters D-O-A in a shiny metallic font. Onyx smiles, stoked. Interior, Bartok Estate, dining room. The group sits at a large dining room table. In front of them is a veritable feast. They are wearing their new robes, fez hats, and pins. Farah closes 2 large sliding doors as the guests dig in.
Might I ask, what led each of you to Lucifer and the teachings of Bartok?
Angelique reaches across the table and grabs a tall green bottle.
Fuck, is this absinthe?
Angelique pours herself a glass.
Why don't you start, Mr. Duke? Break that proverbial ice.
Oh, well, I'll be delighted. As Bartok stated, I am a man of literature and languages. I have also studied many religions over the years, many theologies. I am fascinated, captivated by so many gods and prophets of all walks of faith. But Lucifer, he struck a chord with me.
As Mr. Duke speaks, Angelique passes the absinthe around.
Oh, in the Christian Bible, man is punished for seeking knowledge, humiliated for doing so, killed even. The Bible makes it clear from the very start. In the Garden of Eden, the closer you get to the devil, the closer you get to the truth. And above all, that's what I want. Truth. Dare I say, I think Bartok is out of the same cloth as I. Cut from the same cloth as I should say. He strives to know the truth and teach it more than any man or woman I've ever come in contact with.
Yourself included?
Myself included.
Mr. Duke raises a glass of absinthe.
Well, I'll go next. Mine is quick. I actually have a poem memorized that tells my story.
Oh, cool.
Shelley clears her throat.
There was a young woman who worshiped the Lord. In church every Sunday, her God she adored.
Onyx is bopping along to the rhythm of the poem.
She would help run the service, collect all the tithes. Her husband, the pastor, always by her side. She would taught that a Christian's work isn't in vain. She had hoped serving Jesus might shield her from pain. But one day she got word that her husband had perished, taken by a drunk driver, and a flash all she cherished was broken and twisted up in shards of metal. This young woman, in grief, took solace in the devil.
A long pause.
Your husband died, so you started worshiping the devil?
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. That's like the time in middle school when I asked out my crush, Bonnie Love Rodriguez. She told me to go suck an egg. Then I just listened to the Phantom of the Opera soundtrack for weeks.
Well, what brought you to Bartok, Marcus?
Onyx turns to Mr. Duke.
Huh?
What started you down the lightened path that you led here? That led you?
Mr. Duke gestures out toward the room they are in.
Mine's a pretty darkened yarn as well. Might need a little something to loosen the tongue up to spin this tortured tale.
Mr. Duke slides Onyx the bottle of absinthe.
No thanks.
Onyx opens his Digimon lunchbox.
I stick to my tiny wines.
Onyx pulls out a tiny bottle of red wine from his lunchbox.
Dangerous personalities run in my family, so I have to be very purposeful in limiting my intake. As my mama always said, too much loose and the beast gets loose. Too much juice and the beast gets loose. Yeah,
Onyx cracks open his tiny wine and takes a single sip before screwing the cap back on and placing the wine bottle back in his lunchbox and clasping it shut with a small metal latch.
I was 8 years old when my father left. That same weekend, my mom took me to a flea market and gave me $5 to spend on anything I wanted to help take my mind off things. I don't know. Now, at first, I saw a Cabbage Patch doll with my name on it. Hoo-wee, it was something else. The freckles, the twisty red yarn hair. God damn, it was a thing of beauty. Always thought I'd be daddy to a ginger. But just before I handed that fine doll seller my crispy Lincoln, I saw it. Just one rack over behind a Lou Ferrigno Christmas album was Bartok's first record.
The Devil's Due?
The Devil's Due. I don't know what made me buy it. Compulsion? Curiosity?
Fate.
Mayhaps. It also could have had something to do with the goatee, because ever since I saw Alf, I've been obsessed with hair, both body and facial, wanting more of it, wanting less, having too much, but never enough. I felt a little bit like Alf as a child when he first crashed into the tanner's garage so far from his home planet of Melmac.
Finish your story, like Bartok, the record.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. So I brought the record home, loved it, followed him ever since. Big influence on me.
Beautiful.
Shelley touches Onyx's shoulder.
And what about you, Angelique?
Angelique rolls her eyes.
Come on. The harder the shell,
Shelley walks fingers up Angelique's arm.
the deeper the crack.
She taps Angelique's shoulder. Angelique swats her hand away.
Mine's different. No random set of circumstances, no change in my thinking or shift of will that brought me to Bartok. I was his wife in a past life, many past lives actually, and I am here to be with him again. We have already died 1,000 deaths together, and I would die 1,000 more just to be here now. I'm here for him, not to make merry and not to mince words.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think you were mincing words. I don't know.
Why do you keep saying that? I don't know.
Onyx's eyes dart around the room nervously.
I don't know.
Mac laughs.
The point is, some of us are just operating at a higher stakes than whatever this is.
Angelique gestures out toward the group. The group is silent. Mac speaks.
Well, this is awkward because I too was married to Bartok in a past life and died 1,000 deaths with him.
What?
I'm kidding, relax.
Angelique fake smiles and swigs absinthe.
I am, much like Mr. Duke, an investigator, a seeker. I believe in the power of the elements, the natural elements, and I believe we as people are natural elements with great power. Bartok, I came across in high school and consumed all of his work. He, like me, is concerned with the powers within and how they engage with the powers without.
Mac makes a swirling gesture with their hands as if to signify the world around us.
Bartokian Satanism most aligned with my spirit and my needs.
A moment.
Wow. Look at us, won't you? 5 individuals from such differing backgrounds and walks of life. Some new to the fold.
Duke nods towards Shelley.
Others ancient in it.
Mr. Duke nods towards Angelique, who looks less than amused.
United here. Now, to take part in something unprecedented and extraordinary in the unholy name. To gain immortality. Cheers to that.
He raises his absinthe, so does everyone else. Onyx raises his tiny wine.
To immortality.
To immortality.
To immortality.
Interior, Bartok Estate, hallway, dining room, study. The camera drifts away from the closed dining room doors. We hear the chatter continue as we fall away down the hall. We turn and enter a study. Bartok stands above a desk, pensive, with his hands placed on the surface below. Thera sits and concentrates in a large leather chair. In front of her on a stand is a small silver tray. On the tray, we see each of the personal items belonging to the group. Mr. Duke's pen, Mac's cigarettes, Shelley's lipstick, Angelique's earring, and Onyx's toy. Thera is running her hands over the items as if they are ancient rune stones.
Tell me what you see.
We see glimpses of the merrymaking in slow motion as the group continues to eat, drink, and converse in the dining room.
The chubby one didn't drink.
What? The patty slinger?
Thera nods her head. She grips the Digimon minifig tighter.
That's fine. We have other ways. What of everyone else?
More slow motion glimpses as everyone laughs and drinks. We see their crystals shimmering.
Everything seems to be in order.
Thera flinches as she rubs the minifig.
You don't sound so sure. Do we have anything to worry about? Will the ritual work?
Thera concentrates harder. Thera drops the toy.
Thera!
She drops the toy, opens her eyes, and looks up towards Bartok.
No.
No, the ritual won't work?
No, there's nothing to worry about.
Bartok takes a stabilizing breath.
This weekend is the culmination of my life's work. We cannot have a single doubt.
I'm sure everything is in its right place.
Good. Then we move forward.
Bartok removes a large leather-bound book from a shelf. Thera stands and walks toward him.
Tomorrow you will guide them through the first ritual, the Book of Blood.
Thera and Bartok meet in the middle of the room.
This should quell any uncertainty, lead us to one step closer to the talisman.
The book cover features 5 satanic symbols carved into deeply scarred leather. At the center of the design is a large pentagram. Interior, Bartok Estate, hallway, dining room. Morning. We see a small intercom affixed to the wall in a long hallway.
Good morning, Marcus, Angelique, Mr. Duke, Shelley, and Mac.
We see the intercom speaker close up as Thera continues. A little green light signifies the speaker is in use.
This is a reminder to please wear your cleansing stones at all times during your stay at Briardale Manor. Now make your way down to the dining room for breakfast.
In the dining room, we see Mr. Duke reading the Bartok book while chatting with Shelley. Onyx dishes up some scrambled eggs with a chafing dish. Mac grabs a muffin. Angelique sips black coffee. Interior, Bartok Estate, study. We see Farah at the intercom microphone.
After your meal, we will meet in the ritual room with full bellies, steady hearts, and willing spirits.
She releases the mic button and looks down at Onyx's minifig in her hand. Interior, Bartok Estate, ritual room. Everyone gathers in the ritual room and encircles the pentagram. They look toward each other with bated breath. Onyx makes a rock sign toward Mac. They stick their tongue out back at him playfully.
How did everybody sleep last night? Well?
No, I had a vivid nightmare. Electrifying, really.
Oh, me too.
I have nightmares every night.
The group look towards Angelique.
And yeah, last night was no different.
Same here. Woke up like 5 different times. Couldn't get back to sleep. Onyx?
Nah, I was chill. Slept like a baby, really. When I have a nightmare, you'll know. I wake up gripping the sheets, screaming, Jesus!
The doors to the ritual room open and a robed figure steps to the front of the circle. Farah removes her hood and opens her mouth to speak.
You gotta be kidding me. Where's Bartok? The contest was Bartok the Great's grand getaway, not the Farah fucking trip of a lifetime adventure or...
Huh.
May I ask, what are the 3 rituals that will prepare us for Abaddon? I guess first might be the Dawn of Babylon ritual, which I've read about but never seen enacted.
We have to keep the ceremonial hats on, right? Like that's a non-negotiable, even if volume is a concern.
Shelley touches her hair being squished under the fez.
Was there dairy in the scrambled eggs this morning? I know some people choose to make their scrambled eggs with cheese because it makes for a creamier consistency, but I'm actually lactose intolerant, so that can lead to a great bloating and flagrant...
Enough questions.
Mac widens their eyes in surprise.
Bartok is resting. In 48 hours, he'll be working with all of you to perform a ritual that has never been done by any living person in history. So the rest is a necessity for both his strength and fortitude. Hats, yes. Eggs, I don't know.
Onyx clutches his stomach and grimaces.
Mr. Duke, to your question, no, I can assure you what you are doing today has never been written about in any books read by you.
Mr. Duke is a bit offended.
Does anyone know what this is?
Farah holds up the large leather-bound book.
Holy shit.
Mac, I take it you do.
I know what that can't possibly be.
Indulge us.
Well, that can't possibly be the Grand Grimoire.
No.
Yes.
Mr. Duke covers his mouth in shock. Onyx leans in toward Mac.
What's that?
It's a record of every demon, every demonic ritual, every level of hell, fallen angel, dark prophecy, each and every satanic movement in the universe's history, cataloged in the Grand Grimoire.
Mac looks toward Onyx.
By Lucifer himself. It's the Devil's Bible.
Bound in the skin of angels, he defeated on the battlefield of Golgotha. And until today, it was a myth.
Got it. Dan Brown is to the Da Vinci Code as Satan is to the Grand Grimoire.
Onyx looks toward Farah.
Continue.
Oh, may I?
Yes?
Farah rolls her eyes.
Things you've always viewed as fables and fantasy are very much real in Bartok's world.
Farah steps over to a podium and places the closed book on top of the structure.
This is in fact the Grand Grimoire of Luciferian record. Bartok was gifted this after a decade of silence spent in an unnamed temple on an unnamed mountain, meditating simply on this phrase, Tenebrius ad me.
Bring me to the darkness.
Bring me to the darkness.
You were not chosen at random. The souls required to participate in the Ritual of Abaddon Rising were called out a millennia ago by this book. Out of thousands of applicants from all over the world, only you 5 made it here.
Farah gestures toward an old television set on an AV cart in the corner of the room. It flickers on with a static crackle. On the TV, we see the audition tapes of numerous applicants that didn't make the cut. We also see the tapes of Mr. Duke, Onyx, Mac, Shelley, and Angelique, respectively.
Why? Because I had a vision of you standing before me just as you are today. I must make sure that I was correct in summoning you 5.
The group looks toward one another nervously.
You will each need to bleed into the primary sigil here, and the book will tell me if there was any error in my decision making.
Farah points to the large pentagram on the book cover.
Who would like to approach first?
Angelique rushes to the podium before Farah can even finish the question.
Let's do it. I know my place.
Your hand.
Angelique reaches out her hand palm upward toward Farah. Farah removes a large, ornate knife from her side and speaks a soft prayer.
Et un ennemi toi.
Farah slices Angelique's palm quickly and cleanly. The blood begins to pool in her hand.
The book.
Farah closes Angelique's hand for her and guides it over the book. Angelique's blood drips down into the engraved pentagram, filling the small canals like an aqueduct. The group watches enthralled. The blood flows from the pentagram out toward one of the smaller symbols on the edge of the book. After the smaller symbol is filled, the book shakes unnaturally. The group steps back and the book opens up on its own. The pages in the book flip by in a rush before settling. Farah looks at the open page. Inked lettering reads, "The Queen," in a foreign script. We see an ancient etching showing a woman of supreme royalty.
Yes.
What does it mean?
You have royal blood in you. Dating back generations, you are the queen. One of the allowed.
I fucking knew it.
Next.
Angelique steps away from the podium as Shelley and Mr. Duke both step forward.
Oh, you might be muted, Rico.
After you.
Shelley steps up and opens her hand toward Farah. Farah slices her hand with the blade. Shelley flinches, but barely. Onyx winces as Shelley spills her blood onto the book cover. The crimson liquid flows out toward another small symbol. The book flips to a new page. Large cursive words at the top of the page read, "The Viking," again in a foreign script. We also see an etching representing a great warrior.
The Viking.
Oh wow, what?
You exist within a great Nordic bloodline that flows forward and backward from your family. It has for centuries. You are one of the allowed.
Shelley turns around toward the group and grips her bleeding hand.
Oh my God, holy crap, can you believe it? I'm a Viking, y'all.
Shelley pretends to stomp and crash around a bit. Mr. Duke loves it. Shelley jumps down and raises her bloody hand toward Angelique for a high five. Angelique begrudgingly obliges and slaps Shelley's bloody hand. Angelique rubs her hand on a robe as Mr. Duke steps forward.
I would be honored.
He kneels and stretches his hand out towards Farah. She swipes his skin in a flash. He lets out a high-pitched yelp. Mr. Duke bleeds onto the book and takes a deep breath in as the pages turn. It lands on the lichen. The accompanying sketch shows a werewolf howling in moonlight. Farah smiles.
Of course.
Of course.
Leave it to our dark father to surprise us. Turns out this refined, polished man built of tweed and twee is also a monster.
Mr. Duke gasps and stands to his feet.
Lycanthropy, I can't say that word ever. Lycanthropy blood pulses through your veins. Whatever amount and however dormant it might be, it is present nonetheless, and you are allowed.
Mr. Duke is honestly shook as he stares at the monstrous etching.
I'm...
Mr. Duke turns toward the group.
I have no words.
Mr. Duke steps away from the podium. Mac next. They reach their hand out toward Farah.
So when I get blood drawn, they usually do that thing where they say they're going to count to 3 and do it on 3, but then they actually do it on...
Farah cuts her hand. Mac bites their lip. Onyx winces again.
Exactly. Thank you.
Mac bleeds onto the book. The book opens to The Witch.
Ah, a spellcaster and a mystic. A witch in this lifetime and many others.
Really?
Mac begins to tear up a bit.
You have great power, but you knew that already. Use it wisely. You, Mackenzie, are allowed.
Farah nods and steps down. Onyx doesn't move. He looks around as if to say, anyone else?
Marcus?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, because everyone else is already gone. Totally.
He steps up.
Oh, it's like some kind of demonic 23 in me. But yeah, so no way out but through, I surmise.
Onyx opens his hand and stretches it toward Farah. Just as she raises the blade to his skin, he pulls it away.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking, I wonder if there's even any room left, like on the book cover, any room left to soak me in. Looks pretty full up on blood, TBH.
Farah grabs his hand and opens it.
There's room.
No, yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's okay if you're nervous, Onyx. Onyx.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm actually not. Yeah, I'm actually not nervous. If anything, I wish she was taking more blood. You know, because for a ritual like this, I kind of pictured
Farah swipes his hand with the blade.
Like maybe even just like tubes, just plugged straight in, juice and quartz.
Onyx looks down at his hand, only now feeling the pain, his palm filled with blood.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Fuck.
The book, Marcus.
Onyx holds his hand over the book.
How many squeezes?
His blood drips onto the leather and the book splays open. The pages flip and flip. The group leans in to watch. Onyx watches. The pages flip. Finally, the book settles on the Virgin. The etching in the book looks just like Onyx, but dressed in a druid's cloak.
Huh?
You are the Virgin, and you are allowed.
What the fuck?
You're just as important a piece to this puzzle as anyone else.
Bullshit.
He turns to the group.
Angelique is an ancient queen. Shelley is a Viking warrior. Oh, that's so fun and against type. And Mr. Duke found out he's part fucking werewolf. Huh? What's cooler than that? Max an all-too-powerful witch, and I'm just the fucking fat fucking virgin?
Onyx looks closer at the etching of him in the book. He specifically notices a pronounced belly on the figure.
Oh, god damn, they did your boy dirty.
Well, well, are you a virgin?
Huh?
Are you a virgin, Marcus? There's no shame in it.
Well, first of all, Mr. Duke, there is shame in everything. Surprised they didn't teach you that at Yale School. And yes, I'm a virgin. God damn. The only thing that's ever touched my wee-wee is my never-washed pair of Heathcliff underoos.
Silence for a beat.
The only thing?
What?
Like, you've never even...
Angelique makes the jerk-off motion with her hand.
What? No.
Look, the point is, all is in place for the Ritual of Abaddon, a ritual that requires one Viking, one queen, one lichen, one witch, and yes, one virgin.
God damn it.
There are 2 more rituals before the blood moon. You will hear from me soon. But for now, I must report the book's findings back to Bartok. I would greatly appreciate some space and some peace.
Farah gathers the book and leaves the ritual room.
Were you asking if I'd ever touched my wee-wee with my own hand?
Angelique nods.
Woohoo!
Interior, Bartok estate, study. Farah rushes into Bartok's study.
Give me good news.
Great news.
Farah slams the book down on Bartok's desk.
Each are devoted, each bled for you. All 5 are present.
They're here? All 5?
All 5. We're close, so close.
Open it.
Farah flips open the book. The inside cover has blood seeping through. The blood stains begin to take shape.
Yes, yes. Show me, Lord. Show me the way to talisman.
Farah holds the book open as Bartok leans in and squints to better see the inside cover. The bloodstains seem to be forming a map of some kind. It's crude, but becoming clearer with each passing moment.
Everything has led to this. Every record, every seminar, every photo op, every signing, every sermon, every sweaty handshake coalesces now. Show me the true way. Pay me back for the years of service. Show me the way. Show me the way.
The blood forms a complete map, including an X at the center of it.
Thank you, Father.
Bartok grabs the knife from Farah and slices the cover off of the book in one quick motion.
Let us go and capture eternity.
Bartok hands the map to Farah.
Yes, master.
Interior, Bartok's estate billiard room. There is music blaring as Shelley and Angelique play each other in a round of pool. The billiard balls on the table are emblazoned with silver pentagrams. Angelique racks them up. Mr. Duke sits and watches the pool game while sipping the absinthe. Onyx sits in a funk and abstains from drinking. Crack! Shelley makes a great break. The bowls scatter.
So, have you ever, transformed?
Never. I've never even imagined being more than man or dreamt it a possibility. That is until. Huh.
Until when?
I have kissed people before, so I've lost my mouth virginity, but I guess that's just not enough for that stupid book.
Yeah, my dream last night was almost as if it was readying me for what the Book of Blood would reveal. I saw my hands growing claws, my face covered in fur. I was in my own body, but somehow outside of it as well.
Oh, me too. Me too in my dream. I mean, not the werewolf part, but it was like a foreshadowing of sorts. I was on the ocean in a great big boat, surrounded by men, all looking to me for orders.
Sounds legit.
My friend Lavinia thought I got a hand job once from Kim Green when we all skipped school to go see a matinee of Ever After. But the truth is, Kim just dropped a piece of popcorn on my lap and had a wicked hard time retrieving that rogue colonel. I don't know.
I dreamt I was on a throne with an ever expanding army at my beck and call. I was a queen, and Bartok was my king.
Beat. Angelique is intense.
Well, I dreamt I didn't fuck anybody last night, so I guess we all had pretty fortuitous dreams.
Angelique shakes her head as they resume playing pool. Exterior, Bartok Estate, front porch. Max sits on the front steps of the mansion and lights a cigarette. As they look out over the expansive, fog-laden grounds of the estate, they hear a loud metallic clang. Mac cranes their neck to look toward the side of the house. They see Bartok and Farah sliding out of what looks to be a secret exit. Max squints their eyes as Bartok and Farah disappear into the fog. Mr. Duke and Onyx arrive on the porch.
Mac, did you have a dream last night?
They take a drag off their cigarette and look at Mr. Duke over their sunglasses.
I was a witch, levitating over a circle of loyal sisters, all chanting my name and lifting me up.
That's fucking tight too.
How astounding, how bizarre, but what does it all mean? And what would I wouldn't give to get my hands on that grimoire? Can you imagine? The knowledge, the truth that resides within the book. You know, why us? Why now? Why the ritual of Abaddon? Why the blood moon?
Well, now is the time to break into Bartok's study and find out.
What?
Bartok and Delegate headed out for the night. I saw them leave.
Ah, tempted by the forbidden fruit. Dare we take a bite?
Dare we?
A beat.
So I guess wet dreams about Gadget Hackwrench where she seduces me in the cockpit of the Ranger plane don't count as me losing my virginity. Okay.
Mac exhales a plume of smoke. Interior Bartok Estate hallway. Onyx, Mr. Duke, and Mac creep down the hall toward Bartok's study.
Don't you think if they wanted us to know what was in that book, they'd give us little pamphlet-sized versions of it to read in bed at night?
Well, they have no reason to hide the truth from us. Lucifer himself would reward such curiosity.
Well, what if they catch us and kick us out? Or tie us up and make a bunch of ravenous salamanders chew off our nipples?
Sounds like a good night.
I've got a near photographic memory.
Of course you do.
We don't need much time with the book.
They reach the door to Bartok's study.
That is,
He tries the handle. Locked.
If we can get in.
Mr. Duke jostles the handle. No luck.
Let me try. I've got a surprisingly firm grip due to the number of marshmallow fluff jars I've opened over the years.
Onyx shakes the door handle.
I used to put that shit on everything.
Exterior Bartok Estate, cemetery, woods. Bartok and Farah move through a thick patch of woods with a map and a shovel in tow. Suddenly Farah stops.
What? Are we close?
Maybe.
Farah furrows her brow as she senses something. Interior Bartok Estate, hallway. Onyx continues to shake the handle.
I'm talking English muffins. I'm talking Pop-Tarts. Fuck, I'm even talking bean burritos. I don't give a shit.
Exterior Bartok Estate, cemetery, woods. Farah bites her lip.
Here. The map says here.
Farah and Bartok look down toward a thick patch of briar and bramble. Bartok slams the shovel down through the thorny mess with force. Interior Bartok Estate hallway. The door still won't open despite Onyx's firm grip.
Can anyone pick a lock?
Oh, wait, my meat hut skeleton key.
Your what?
Onyx pulls his skeleton key off his belt.
This key opens everything. I inherited it from my former boss, who actually wound up killing himself the night he quit the hut and left me in charge. Sad story, really.
Onyx readies the key.
Marcus, this lock is most likely 200 years old or more. There's no way your fast food key will.
To everyone's surprise, the lock clicks open.
Well, I stand corrected.
Onyx kisses 2 fingers and points toward the sky.
Thanks, Rick.
They open the door to Bartok's study. Interior Bartok's study. The group enters the study. The group is astounded by what they see. Shelves of books, cases of artifacts. This is a Satanist's veritable dream come true.
Oh, Father, how you blessed us!
They walk to various shelves and pedestals and investigate in awe. Onyx runs up to an ancient horned skull and touches it. Mac is taken by a satanic idol that resides within a tall glass case. Mr. Duke spots the book.
There!
Mr. Duke runs over to Bartok's desk. Mac follows behind him. Onyx stays intrigued by the skull as he pokes his fingers in the eye holes. Mr. Duke opens the book. Mac slides up next to him.
Wow.
They flip through the pages they saw during the Book of Blood ritual. Mr. Duke lands on the lichen and skims. He mutters to himself as he reads.
Outstanding.
Can you read it?
In pieces. It's an ancient language I'm not entirely familiar with. Possibly Sumerian or a derivative of such. I brought my compact mini library of dead language encyclopedias with me. They're in my room.
Nerd.
Mr. Duke continues to read.
Let's see. Powers, lay dormant, Antella. Hard to say. Antella passage. No, a vessel of.
Mr. Duke can't make sense of it.
What does it say about the witch?
Mr. Duke flips to the page covering the witch. Onyx looks at a tall ceremonial hat sitting on a shelf.
Great potency. The ability to speak outside of or beyond life.
What the shit?
Onyx is wearing the ceremonial hat.
Hey, what does it say about the Virgin? That he has power to cradle his flaccid wee-wee in his hands and cry for hours on end?
Mr. Duke flips to a new page. There is a large etching of a demon and further text written in foreign language. Mr. Duke's eyes scan over the pages.
Here it is. The Ritual of Abaddon Rising is meant to imbue, empower the leader and all gathered or participants with never-ending life.
We intercut Farah and Bartok digging through thicket and brush.
First, the knife of Dagon must be acquired.
Mac glances toward the knife on Bartok's desk. They pick it up and handle it curiously. Onyx continues to goof off with various objects in Bartok's study. He's currently holding a voodoo mask to his face and repeatedly sticking his tongue in and out of it.
Then the 5 devoted souls must be...
What?
Not a word I recognize at all. Must be present? Must be captivated? Entrapped in the service of damn depths.
Bartok uncovers a coffin.
Once the 5 souls are present, the map of Samuel will be revealed and led to...
Bartok and Farah crack open the coffin lid.
The talisman of souls.
The what?
Onyx is pretending to play an engraved femur as a flute. We see a large talisman draped around the bony neck of an emaciated corpse that has long resided within the coffin. Bartok's eyes go wide. Farah is excited but restrained. Lightning fills the sky and thunder rolls. Farah looks toward the sky as Bartok cradles the talisman in his hands.
With the talisman empowered and in your possession, you will be able to summon the infernal ruler, Abaddon, and absorb his power.
Lightning and gold are reflected in Bartok's eyes, and he begins to laugh wildly. He presses the talisman to his chest and looks skyward. Farah is reserved.
Now, if I understand correctly, once Abaddon is risen, our immortality is gained. Bartok tapes our Abaddon's power, but
But what?
there's a warning here at the bottom. If a mortal attempts to raise Abaddon, beware the prophecies of the.
Mr. Duke flips the page. The next page is missing. There is nothing but the torn root of the page that was removed.
The prophecy of the what?
The. I don't know. It's gone.
What the fuck?
They both touch pieces of missing parchment. Onyx, not paying much attention to the grimoire, moves on to another large demon skull. This skull is mounted on the wall like big game. Onyx runs his hands along the left horn of the creature and pulls down. As he pulls, a concealed panel in the wall pops open with a click.
Secret passageways. Are you kidding me?
Onyx steps through the darkened, slender doorway. Suddenly, we hear a loud organ chime ring through the house. The front door has been opened. The voices of Farah and Bartok grow near.
Quick, back to our rooms, now!
Mr. Duke closes the book. Mac puts the knife down.
Marcus!
Onyx?
They both look around the room. No sign of Onyx.
We have to go!
But Onyx?
Mr. Duke drags Mac out of the room swiftly. Interior Bartok Estate's secret corridor. Onyx stands inside a cramped wall cavity. He sees two spots of light piercing through the shadows. He steps up to the light spots and peeks through. Interior Bartok Estate study's secret corridor. Onyx's eyes align with two small cut-out holes in the eyes of an oil painting of Bartok. Bartok and Farah burst into the study. They rush toward the desk as Onyx's Bartok eyes follow. On the desk, Farah slides the book to the side and grabs the knife of Dagon. Bartok lifts the talisman toward the knife handle. The talisman fits on the butt of the knife perfectly as Bartok begins to swivel the talisman into place. Onyx's eyes widen. Farah's eyes dart around the room.
Focus, Farah.
Farah focuses. When the talisman is securely screwed to the bottom of the knife, it exudes a sound, almost a breath. The metal shimmers and the talisman seems to lose years of tarnish and rust.
Hail Satan, son of light. Father, I am one step closer to my destiny. Where do we go from here? I do not want to disappoint you. Guide my steps, illuminate my path.
There is a knock on the doors to the study. Bartok holds the knife down at his side. He gestures for Farah to go to the door. Farah opens the door.
I want to see Bartok.
Bartok is busy. Please retire to your quarters.
This is bullshit. I didn't come here to fuck around and make friends while...
Bartok speaks up.
I'm not too busy. Never too busy to tend to one of my betrothed.
Bartok grips the knife. Farah catches the hint and allows Angelique to enter. Onyx's Bartok eyes follow.
Come.
Angelique steps into the room.
You seem distressed. Are you enjoying your time at Briardale thus far?
I am. Oh, great one. But I am also distressed.
Do tell.
Angelique and Bartok sit in two leather chairs facing each other.
I want to do more for you. I want to do more to you than I think anyone else here can be.
This resonates with me, young one.
Bartok looks up toward Farah and signals for her to leave. She begrudgingly does so.
You know, Angelique, there are many different ways you can give yourself to someone. If you truly wish to be more to me, to do more for me, if your dedication is truly profound,
Bartok stands and paces in the room.
then I would be honored to receive you.
What would it take?
He handles the knife and looks at the blade with narrowing eyes.
All it takes is one sacrificial show of consecration, one that I would gladly accept, my sweetheart.
Back to Onyx. He can barely hear what's going on. Bartok steps back over to Angelique and whispers in her ear. She nods her head and slowly unzips her robe. While remaining seated, she drops her robe back, revealing her bare back and numerous sprawling tattoos. Bartok runs his hand down her neck and across her collarbone. He begins to recite a prayer.
Ade du dambala. Give me the power, beg of you, se quasi tenie med boad morte.
Onyx feels uncomfortable as things grow more intimate. He awkwardly looks away from the goings-on in the study. Onyx backs away from the painting slightly and notices a large page of parchment glued to the backside of the canvas. He investigates it for a bit as Bartok and Angelique continue to converse. As Onyx looks closer, he sees it's a page from the grimoire. Onyx rubs his fingers on the page and looks at it with squinted eyes. There is a drawing of a large sword emerging from a massive swirling fire pit amid numerous rows of text. Onyx is trying to decipher what is written on the page as a scream grabs his attention back into the room. Onyx looks through the eyes of the painting to see Bartok jamming the knife of Dagon directly into Angelique's chest. Onyx's mouth goes wide for a scream, but he wisely stops himself. Interior, Bartok Estate, hallway. Farah stands guard in the hallway. She anxiously looks around as Angelique's whimpers die down in volume. Interior, Bartok Estate study. Angelique breathes out a series of wet gasps.
Yes, that's it. Give me all of you. All of you.
A purple liquid spills from Angelique's chest and moves up the blade of the knife. She looks down toward the blade in horror and back up to Bartok. As the liquid reaches the handle of the knife, it travels into the talisman.
More. Everything, every last drop.
The liquid fills the center jewel of the talisman that now glows purple. Onyx's eyes widen as he peers through the painting. With a withered crunch, Angelique collapses back. Her head swings toward Onyx and he covers his mouth to suppress another scream. Angelique's face and body have shriveled to a dried blue hue. Her skin is wrinkled and her face has sunken into now ghoulish proportions. Her eyes are giant white bulbous globes that show no sign of life. Behind the wall, Onyx runs deeper into the wall cavity. As he moves, shafts of light dance across his face as sweat drips down his brow. We hear beetles crawling and bats squeaking. Onyx is in a maze of shadows and anxiety. Many cobwebs stretch across the ever-narrowing space.
God damn, so many fucking cobwebs.
Onyx attempts to spit cobwebs out of his mouth. He then mutters to himself in a panic and loses his breath entirely. Suddenly, he stops and looks towards his left. Through an air vent, he sees into Mr. Duke's room. In the room, Mac sits smoking a cigarette near an open window with the cleansing prayer card in one hand. Mr. Duke feverishly writes in a small journal. Interior, Bartok Estate, Mr. Duke's room. Onyx pushes his way through the vent with a few awkward bangs. Mac is startled until they realize who it is. Onyx stands up, dust and cobwebs covering his face and robe.
Onyx?
Oh, hey, what are y'all doing?
Mr. Duke is trying to write down everything he remembers from the book so he can continue to transcribe the pages of the grimoire.
Mr. Duke scribbles and murmurs to himself.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Hell yeah.
Onyx, are you okay?
Oh, yeah. Nah, it's just, Oh, is that
Onyx pretends to be interested in a small bedside lamp.
Oh, so is that how that switches on? That's, oh, cool. Cute little button right there, I guess. Okay.
Onyx turns the lamp on and off.
Onyx, you don't seem okay.
Nah, it's just, so when y'all left, I was, trapped behind this painting.
I'm so sorry. We didn't know where you were.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So like Angelique and Bartok were like talking, and then they kind of started to get like kind of smoochy.
Yeah.
And that's cool, but like then
he drifts off.
Onyx?
He stabbed her until she was dead.
What?
With the knife of Dagon, right in the chest. And then I saw all the life drain from her eyes until she passed out and turned into some kind of soulless ghoul. Can I get one of those?
Onyx gestures toward Mac's cigarettes. They hand him one along with a lighter. Mr. Duke swivels around in his chair.
Tell me more. Did he say anything, speak anything when those actions occurred?
Yes, sir. Some kind of prayer.
Do you remember it, any of it?
Yeah, it was like, da-da doo-doo, or Scooby-Doo, for yabba dabba doo lilu.
Mr. Duke writes down just that.
Okay. I'll see what I can decipher from that.
Yeah, actually, it might have been doo-doo first, actually, and then da-da. Yeah.
Onyx's eyes dart to the left as he questions his own memory. He notices the prayer card in Mac's hand.
What's that?
The prayer we read at entry. I held on to mine.
Can I see?
She hands Onyx the card.
Interesting.
What?
Well, the smoke burns as it fills my lungs. I've never had a cigarette before, and I feel like I'm going to vomit out my entrails.
Onyx begins to cough. As he does so, he inadvertently lights the prayer card on fire.
Onyx!
Mac stands and swats the card out of his hand. Onyx tosses the cigarette out of the window.
It might be best if I'm left alone for a bit to focus.
Mac stomps out the prayer card. Onyx continues to cough.
Oh, Mr. Duke, look!
Mr. Duke stands and all three of them look down toward the prayer card. Mac picks it up. The areas around the text are singed, but also reveal a hidden message behind the words.
Marcus.
Mr. Duke grabs the lighter from Onyx and lights it. He holds the lighter underneath the card, close enough to heat it but not to burn it. More words are revealed in a similar language as is present in the grimoire. They share an exchange of concerned glances.
Something tells me they haven't been honest with us since we got here. I think something bad's coming.
There's a knock at the door. Everyone gasps and looks toward the door.
Who is it?
Silence. Another knock.
Who is it?
It's Angelique, silly. What are you guys doing in there? Having fun without me?
Mac, Mr. Duke, and Onyx all look to each other. Their crystals shimmer without them noticing. Mac moves to open the door. Onyx tries to stop them. Mr. Duke shoves the prayer card into his journal.
Oh, no.
Mac opens the door. Angelique stands there, smiling like she never does.
Hey, what are all y'all silly billies getting into?
Mr. Duke and Onyx peer around Mac towards Angelique.
Getting into a whole lot of nothing. Winding down, getting ready for bed.
Onyx butts in.
Yeah, I get a little scared at night, just thinking about how far away I am from my loved ones and the things I find grounding normalcy in. I don't know. When I was little, I used to have panic attacks whenever I was at a friend's house for a sleepover. Until one night, my friend Alex's mom, Linda, reminded me that no matter where we are in the world, we are all under the same moon, the same big sky. And just like Fievel in 1986's underappreciated, animated Amblin classic American Tale, Linda would sing to me as my fears were soothed, and I drifted twitchily to sleep. Somewhere out there, beneath the pale moonlight.
Yeah, so anyway, we're pretty tired. I imagine you are too. We should probably hit the hay.
Awesome. For sure. Make sure to get some beauty sleep. Tomorrow's a big day.
Will do.
Of course, Angelique. Good night.
Then we'll be together somewhere out there, out where dreams come true.
Good night.
Angelique forces a broad smile. Mac closes the door.
What the fuck was that?
I got nervous and started singing Fievel.
Not that. I mean, what was up with Angelique?
She's a zombie, or a chud, or a trog. Whatever she is, we need to confront Bartok and Farah now, before he's fucking sucking out all our fucking souls.
I think we need to know what we're dealing with before taking action. I need to translate the Gilmore and uncover what his plan truly is.
What about the missing page?
The what?
There was a warning that came after the Ritual of Abaddon in the grimoire. It said, beware the prophecy of the, and then the next page was missing.
I saw the missing page.
You did?
It was taped behind the painting. I saw it when Angelique was getting zoinked and magoinked.
The intercom crackles on.
Good night, honored guest. Please meet in the breakfast room first thing in the morning as we prepare for the second ritual.
Mr. Duke has an idea.
That's it! During the ritual, one of us sneaks off to retrieve the page. But tonight, we rest. Let our minds be replenished and our nerves be renewed. Tomorrow, we take action.
Mr. Duke returns to his desk. Mac and Onyx look toward each other. Mr. Duke stares down at his journal and the half-burned message. Interior Bartok's estate study. Farah sits at the intercom microphone. On the desk in front of her, we see the collection of various personal items.
All is well?
I guess we shouldn't be improvising. We've planned this for years.
Well, what good are all of your crystals and spells if they can't get me what I want?
But if we don't take our time, we risk fumbling it all.
I won't fumble. Not after all this time. I won't wait either. Bring me another soul tomorrow, or you will find yourself on the wrong end of my wrath.
Bartok storms out of the study. Farah looks down at the objects on the desk. She lifts Shelley's lipstick into frame and stares at it. Interior Bartok estate breakfast area. Mr. Duke is feverishly writing in his journal and cross-checking his work with other language text. Mac watches him work as Onyx approaches and slams down his tray.
I figured it out.
What?
The plan. I down a fuck ton of these creamy eggs, so when y'all start the second ritual, I'll excuse myself to go take a massive shit. One that is messy, runny, one that's so pressurized it makes me question whether or not it's going to continue to come out of my butt or eventually out of my mouth. And while I'm off taking that massive shit, I'll also sneak into Bartok's study and steal the page.
Onyx begins to shovel the eggs into his mouth.
That's a great plan, Onyx, but you don't actually have to eat the eggs to pull that off. You can just pretend to be sick and then ask to use the bathroom.
Onyx spits the eggs out.
Yeah, well, I'll know now for future plans to consult with you first before taking action.
Onyx's stomach grumbles. Interior Bartok estate ritual room. The group gathers, including Angelique. Farah stands in front of them.
First was the unbridling, now the unshackling. Each of you have lives back home, family, friends, that are keeping you tethered to the world as you knew it. But we are here to elevate you into another world.
Next to each participant is a tall mirror covered in a velvet drape. Farah pulls the velvet off one of the mirrors.
Each of you will be asked to confront a symbol of your former lives and destroy that icon with a...
Farah holds up a large black stone. Onyx's hand goes up.
Yes, Marcus?
I've got to take a big old shit.
Now?
Let me check.
He winces and cringes.
Yeah, now.
Okay, then go. We'll begin without you. But if you are not back before your turn, by Satan's unholy name, you will be deemed unworthy and ejected from Bartok's mansion post-haste.
Yeah. Shit quick, else be deemed unworthy. Got it.
Onyx stands to leave with his lunchbox in tow.
Mr. Duke, would you?
Mr. Duke steps toward Farah. Interior Bartok estate hallway. Onyx slinks down the hallway. Interior Bartok estate ritual room. Mr. Duke stands at the mirror. In its reflection, he sees himself standing at a lectern. He then sees numerous faces of admiring students.
Reject the admiration of peers and pupils. They will only elevate so far. Instead of teaching myths and legends, why not become one yourself?
Mr. Duke throws the stone and screams as it shatters the mirror. Interior Bartok estate, Mr. Duke's room. Onyx slips into Mr. Duke's room and climbs back through the air vent. It takes him a bit as he has to suck in his gut and shimmy back and forth awkwardly. Interior Bartok estate ritual room. Angelique stands in front of the mirror. We see an image of her tattooing a happy client.
What is it unto if it's not unto him?
Angelique just stands holding the rock, looking at it like a curious child.
Throw it, Angelique.
Farah flicks her wrist and Angelique's crystal shimmers. She immediately tosses the rock into the mirror. Mac notices this curious moment. Interior Bartok estate inside the walls. Onyx runs through cobwebs and shadows.
God damn, how are all the cobwebs at exactly mouth level?
He spits and spits as webs get caught in his mouth. Interior Bartok ritual room. Max stands in front of the mirror currently. There is no image or reflection staring back.
Wow, such a loner. A rebel. There's almost nothing for the scrying mirror to conjure.
Mac bites their tongue.
If you had to turn your back on someone, on anyone, if that sacrifice had to be made, who could you possibly mourn separating from? Think, Mackenzie, who do you most fear losing?
Mac closes their eyes. An image appears in the mirror that is just Mac.
Just as a thought.
Farah hands the stone to Mac. Mac readies it in their hand as they stare into the mirror.
Are you committed, Mackenzie? Committed to leaving the loser you were before the dust and gaining true purpose? Step up with us into destiny, into immortality.
Mac throws the stone. The mirror is shattered. Interior Bartok estate behind the walls. Onyx reaches the painting. Out of his lunchbox, he removes a small pocket knife and begins to surgically remove the page from the painting. As he does so, he peeks through the eye holes once more. He sees Bartok working out with weights in the nude. Onyx gets back to work on freeing the page. Interior Bartok estate, hallway, ritual room. Shelley stands in front of the black mirror.
You have family, creatures that were born from your blood, made of your flesh.
Glimmering within the mirror, an image of Shelley and her kids appears. She's playing with them and having fun.
But these creations are mortal, and These creations are mortal, and you've also learned how mortality can fail you, but immortality will cause you to transcend. Reject the bounds of the mortal and free yourself.
Farah hands Shelley the stone. Shelley holds the heavy stone in her hand for a moment. She looks up toward the images she sees in the mirror and begins to cry. She takes a few deep breaths in and lets out a wail as she throws the stone into the glass, shattering the mirror into glistening shards. Shelley becomes emotional and falls to her knees. Farah bends down and whispers in her ear.
Go to him. Go to your master.
Shelley stands to exit the room just as Onyx enters. The group turns toward him.
What are we doing?
Farah picks up the stone and walks it toward Onyx.
We are confronting the loved ones we had in our mortal lives and making the hard decision to forego a future with them.
Onyx looks toward his mirror. An image of Todd holding a giant bucket of mac and cheese appears.
In order to fulfill our destiny in Bartok.
Before Farah can even finish her sentence, Onyx has thrown the stone through the glass, shattering the mirror.
Sick. So is that it for the second ritual then?
Interior Bartok estate, billiard room. Mr. Duke slams his book down on the table. Onyx slams his lunchbox down as well. He opens the container and sets the page down on the felt surface of the pool table.
Brilliant, Marcus. Well played.
Onyx is proud of himself.
What does it say?
It's foretelling a prophecy that will disrupt the rising of Abaddon. Beware the prophecy of the the unexpected. Let's see.
Mr. Duke cross-references pages he's already transposed in his journal. He circles certain letters, draws lines from one phrase to another. He mutters to himself as he translates rapidly.
Beware the prophecy of...
Onyx leans in toward Mac.
He's gonna beautiful mind that shit.
Of the fortuitous one.
Onyx looks back to Mr. Duke.
What?
What?
Interior Bartok estate study. Farah meditates in her chair, gripping the minifig.
What?
What?
Bartok turns around toward Farah. As he turns, he reveals Shelley sitting in a chair with the knife of Dagon in her chest. She gasps as her soul begins to leave her body. Bartok is dressed in a post-workout jumpsuit and has a towel around his neck. He takes a sip from a Beelzebub beef-up water bottle.
Nothing,
No, I won't suffer you keeping anything from me any longer.
Bartok steps away from Shelley, who looks down at the knife in shock. She grips the handle and starts shakily to her feet. Bartok's attention is on Farah.
What is it? Now, what you're sensing? What is going wrong?
Nothing's going wrong.
Stop lying to me!
Farah steadies herself as Bartok throws his water bottle across the room. Shelley stumbles around the room, knocking into various artifacts and bookcases.
I own you. Need I remind you, our father gifted you to me as my property. After I made a sacrifice in his name, I gave him my eye so you could have life.
Bartok points towards his eye patch.
And in that life I gave you, you had but one purpose, to ensure the ritual of Abaddon rising happens under this blood moon in my power. Or else you can return to the pit where the other tramps of hell sob and slobber all over each other.
Bartok grabs the action figure out of her hand and tosses it across the room. It shatters into pieces. He then grabs Mac's cigarettes, Angelique's earring, Mr. Duke's pen, and Shelley's lipstick, and throws them each individually across the room. It takes an awkward amount of time for him to do all of this.
Stand up.
Farah stands. Bartok snaps and points to a spot on the floor in front of him. She walks to the spot and faces him. He snaps again and points, this time with both hands. She begrudgingly kneels down.
Let us never forget the order of things, for without order there is chaos. Do you agree?
Anger fills Farah's eyes as she looks up toward Bartok.
Do you agree?
Yes, master.
Prepare the third ritual. I want the souls. I want them now.
Farah looks at Shelley's blue body laying rigid on the floor in front of her. Shelley's bulbous eyes stare up at nothing. Interior Bartok Estate, billiard room. Mr. Duke, Mac, and Onyx continue to study the prophecy. Their crystals shimmer just as the door opens. Happy Angelique and even happier Shelley enter the room.
Oh, you might be muted, Rachel.
Hey, y'all.
Mr. Duke slides the prophecy page into his journal.
Ladies,
Bartok wants to see us now.
Bartok? Now? But we just finished the second.
Angelique and Shelley begin to encircle the crew. Shelley even grabs a pool cue and grips it like a weapon.
He's proud of us. So proud of all of us. He wants to move directly into the third ritual. The blood moon is tomorrow, after all. There's no time to waste.
Blood moons and rituals and oh, I love it. Isn't it exciting?
They are boxed in by Shelley and Angelique now.
yes, very.
Interior Bartok Estate, hallway. The group walks down the hallway. Angelique and Shelley lead the pack.
Z, do you think, am I the...
I don't know. What do you feel?
Well, I don't feel anything other than a general sense of pervasive dread that's followed me since birth.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in episode 20 of the 7th season of Perfect Strangers, when Balky and Cousin Larry signed up to get stress tests, but wind up being tortured by an evil doctor, manipulating them for his own ghoulish pleasure.
Mac thinks, then leans over to Mr. Duke.
How much time do you need to finish your translations? We need to understand the prophecy in full.
I agree. I'm close, so close. One night, a few hours of uninterrupted focus.
We'll get it for you.
Bartok steps into the hallway, flinging the doors open in grand fashion.
Children, can you taste it?
Bartok pretends to taste the air.
Immortality is imminent and in the air. Tastes like forever.
Onyx makes a face. It's weird that guy was tasting the air.
Let us begin.
Interior Bartok Estate, ritual room. Everyone stands around Bartok. Farah stands behind him.
Unbridled? Yes. Unshackled? Surely, yes. In his name? Now? It is time for the third step in preparation for Abaddon. The great unburdening.
We intercut with each character entering small side rooms in the house as Bartok's instructions continue as voiceover.
You will each enter a small room alone. Alone except for a peculiar wooden box. You will read the inscription on the outside of the box.
Each person does exactly this.
Once the words have been spoken aloud, open the doors. There you will confront your very own personal demon.
Each person slowly opens their box. We see a sticky film on the doors and everyone's eyes widen.
To that demon you will unburden yourself. Share with it 3 secrets that weigh heavily on your heart.
We focus on Onyx now. His demon slowly opens his eyes and breathes for the first time in centuries.
In exchange for your secrets, the demon will tell you one truth. Ask wisely. Ask for an answer that no one could give you. No one other than our eternal Father. But the answer may very well change your life forever.
Interior Bartok estate, small room. Onyx stands across from his demon. The demon is bulbous and fat. It looks like a large tumor that has been shoved into a laundry hamper. It sounds like Dennis from the Meat Hut when it speaks.
What do you wish to tell me, son?
I don't know. I think I'm supposed to tell you 3 secrets in exchange for 1 truth.
Then, by all means, begin.
Huh. Well, I guess we're supposed to dig pretty deep, so yeah, no use in avoiding the dark stuff. Here goes nothing. Sometimes, late at night, when I have to go pee-pee, but I'm worried about waking up my mom and Todd with the sound of a flushing toilet.
Yes.
I sneak into the kitchen and pee-pee into water glasses and then pour it down the sink.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty fucked up.
Dig deeper, child. Go to the darkest, most shameful part of you. What is there?
Sex?
Yes, what do you see? You think of your carnal desires, enveloped by your most animalistic senses.
Well, I think about my fantasies.
Tell me more.
Well, one of my fantasies involves me as Meatloaf, reenacting a kind of sexier version of his 1993 Michael Bay directed music video for I'll Do Anything for Love, but I won't do that, wherein I play the titular beast in a Beauty and the Beast type scenario, and there's a beautiful woman who has broken into my mansion, and she loves me, but I'm like, you can't love me, I'm a monster, but she eventually does fall in love with me, I think because I can sing wicked good like Meatloaf, and I've got a big house. I don't know.
Go deeper, my child. What's buried in the core of your chamber of shame?
Oh yeah, my chamber? Yeah, well, my deepest, darkest fantasy is actually based on a fan fiction series I wrote, short novellas, about Gadget Hack Wrench from Chippendale Rescue Rangers. And I play kind of like a mix between Dale and Marky Mark's character from Boogie Nights. I call myself Dale Diggler. And the things we get to fixing in the Ranger plane after hours, let's just say it doesn't stop at the rusty propellers.
He laughs awkwardly.
Yeah, because eventually she starts fixing my wiener.
The box demon cuts him off.
Those secrets will do. Now, what truth do you seek?
Anything?
Anything.
Demon in a box. Oh, I beg of you. Demon in a box. Oh, please answer me true. Demon in a box, how I wish to see. While my father Carl left my mother and me.
Beat.
Oh, Onyx. Don't you know?
Onyx shakes his head. No.
It was because of you.
What?
It was simply because you weren't.
Onyx swallows back, upset and tears.
You weren't enough to keep them there. Weren't enough to keep them together.
His eyes widen with emotion.
Think hard. Go deep. You'll remember.
Onyx seems nearly paralyzed by this revelation accusation. He slips into a flashback. Interior suburban house, 1992 day. A young Onyx, 6 years old, sits crisscross applesauce on the ground playing with action figures. We hear a faint argument off screen as Onyx plays blissfully unaware of what's happening around him. After a moment, Carl Trilbury steps through the living room and opens the front door to the house. Onyx looks up at him. Onyx's face is relaxed and does not exhibit the stressed, worrisome look we're so used to seeing.
Dad?
Carl turns toward Onyx.
When will you be back?
Carl thinks for a moment. His hand grips the doorknob tenuously. Carl looks out toward the yard, then back to Onyx.
I don't know.
Carl leaves. Onyx stares at his dad as he disappears out of the house and into the bright, blinding light of the front yard. Onyx continues to stare at the door before beginning to talk to himself softly.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Young Onyx's face contorts and twists into a frozen state of worry.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
We push in on Onyx's young face and dissolve into his adult one. Interior Bartok Estate, small room. Onyx stares straight ahead.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
You find the answer you sought.
After a beat.
Oh yeah, we're good. Thanks, dude.
Onyx slams the door shut on the box demon.
Ah!
Interior Bartok Estate, dining room. We see Onyx grab the absinthe bottle off the table. Interior Bartok Estate, hallway, ritual room. From outside the ritual room, we hear the record player switch on. The chant music begins to play loudly. Max steps out from one of the private rooms and enters the ritual room. They see Onyx chugging the absinthe and dancing by himself.
Onyx, are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm great, actually. Real good.
He chugs that drink.
Onyx, that stuff is...
Yeah, super powerful. Yeah, I got it.
Onyx.
Mr. Duke enters the room, joined quickly by Shelley and Angelique.
I just really want to party, you know? Don't you? I mean, everyone is so stuffy here, huh? Like Bartok and Farah and all their bullshit fucking robes and fucking, like, what the fuck is this?
Onyx pulls off his fez.
Huh? What kind of fucking hat is this? Huh? Who the fuck wears this? And this?
He grips the crystal in his hand.
Fuck this fucking goofy ass emerald shit.
Peridot.
Fuck this fucking peridot bullshit.
Onyx yanks the necklace off and chugs more absinthe. Interior Bartok Estate, study. Farah is broken out of meditation. Bartok is staring at the talisman at his desk. He looks up toward her as she senses a disturbance. After a moment, they hear the chant music playing from the ritual room loudly. Farah stands and leaves the study. Bartok stays. Interior Bartok Estate, ritual room. Farah rushes into the ritual room. Onyx dances wildly, and the absinthe bottle in his hand is nearly empty. Farah speaks to Mac.
What is happening?
I don't think he liked what his demon told him.
You know what's weird? No one has danced since we got here. Yeah, and that's a real shame. Because dancing really frees you up, you know? Kind of gets you out of your head. You know, if fucking dancing gets you loose.
Onyx dances hard. Mr. Duke uses this as a chance to slip away. Max sees this and nods in his direction.
Farah, come on, dance with me.
Farah doesn't move.
All right, Z, Shelley?
Angelique and Shelley begin to dance with Onyx. The music is so loud.
Oh yeah, you get it.
When Onyx looks at Angelique and Shelley, they are both soulless blue ghouls.
Oh fuck, you're ghouls.
No one knows what he is talking about, except Farah.
What did he say?
He said, you're cool.
Angelique, Shelley, and Onyx dance in step with each other. After one more swig, he finishes the absinthe.
Marcus, how much of that have you had?
Onyx stops dancing. The alcohol is hitting. He looks toward Farah.
I don't know.
His face drops. No tension, no stress. His face completely relaxes and is free of emotion. He collapses into the record player, which crashes to the ground with a metallic smash. The music stops. We dolly in low toward an unconscious Onyx as people murmur and rush toward him in slow motion. We hear the piano intro for Meatloaf's I'd Do Anything for Love begin to play. Interior Bartok Estate, hallway, ballroom, Onyx's nightmare. We are in a long hallway with billowing white curtains that ebb and cascade in the moonlight. We are now in Onyx's subconscious. We still hear echoes of the waking world around us, but after a moment they fade. Only music now. In between singing, we have moments of instrumental interlude where dialogue will take place. We see a woman running toward us in a long white dress. It's Farah. She seems distressed. She's looking to her left and right down corridors and through doorways. She's searching for something. Eventually, she finds Onyx sitting at a grand piano in a large ballroom. He is dressed like the Phantom of the Opera as he bangs on the keys and belts the lyrics passionately. Farah approaches him from behind and places her hands on his shoulders. He turns to see her and we see his face. He is not himself fully, but rather a demonic version of the man we know with raised brow and fangs. He seems vampiric in appearance. Farah touches him gently, and Onyx hisses before covering his face with his cape and running out of the room. Interior Bartok Estate hallway. Onyx stalks down the hallway while singing and carrying a large staff. He catches glimpses of himself in the mirrors hanging on the wall and loses his temper. Disgusted by what he sees, he smashes multiple mirrors with his staff. Farah discovers him in the hallway and rushes to his side. She stops him from smashing a mirror by catching his cane in her hand. They look into each other's eyes.
Tell me, Farah, who am I?
I think you know. Search your heart.
I'm not sure I do. I don't know. Who is to say what any of us are in this twisted palace built of riddle and rhyme?
We are each different things to different people in every shifting game of make-believe.
Huh.
Onyx is intrigued. Farah circles around him.
I could be something to you that I've never been to anyone else. Something that you've never had.
Farah touches Onyx's chest. He breathes in sharply. She pushes him over and he falls back. Interior Bartok Estate, bedroom. Onyx falls back onto a bed. Farah stands in the room, walking slowly around the bed.
What do you want me to be, Onyx?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
As a bedpost crosses our frame, Farah transforms. She is now Gadget Hackwrench. She sings the next verse of I'd Do Anything for Love as Gadget Hackwrench. Onyx backs up on the bed as she crawls on all fours toward him. She nearly kisses Onyx until he begins to sing back to her. She stands up from the bed.
I don't want a fantasy. I want something real, not another lie.
This could be real, Onyx. You and I could be very real.
He is shocked.
But I thought you were with...
Bartok?
He nods his head.
No, if you want the truth, I'll show you.
Farah presses her forehead to Onyx's. He receives a vision of her origin.
He gave birth to me through a sacrifice.
We see Bartok digging out his own eye and burying it in the earth.
An offering made to our father yielded me in return with one catch. I would never be free.
Bartok recites a prayer and spills his own blood into the soil. We see Farah emerge from the ground covered in dirt and vines.
I am my father's daughter, a demon conceived in brimstone and briar, and devoted to serving the one who loosed me.
We see quick flashes of demon wings sprouting from Farah's back, horns forcing their way out of her forehead. She looks directly towards us and shrieks into camera with large fangs and glowing eyes. Bartok smears a stripe of blood across Farah's forehead and speaks in tongues over her. We see Farah kneeling next to Bartok with a collar and chain around her neck. Bartok grips the end of the chain firmly in his hand. We then see a silhouetted human figure holding a large glowing sword.
But you, Onyx, you could free me. If you are the one prophecy foretold of, then you can set me free. I can be given new life through the fortuitous one, and together we can defeat Bartok.
Defeat him? Why?
If he raises the spirit of Abaddon and consumes his power, Bartok plans to eradicate all life from the earth, unless you choose to serve him. But together, you and I could...
The room Onyx and Farah are in begins to shake, and he pulls away from her. On this action, they are back in the ballroom. Interior Bartok Estate, ballroom. The ballroom shakes, and Onyx and Farah fall to the ground.
No.
What is it?
It is he.
He who?
Abaddon.
Farah flees the ballroom. Onyx stands to his feet and finds himself in a vast black space. Interior, black space, Abaddon's realm. Onyx is now his normal self, no demonic brow, and dressed in his meat hut attire. Onyx looks high above him as his expression contorts to one of true terror. In front of Onyx is the giant head of Abaddon the demon protruding through a fiery hell portal. Abaddon has chains wrapped around his head and horns that lead off-screen to unseen corners of this space. Abaddon peers down toward Onyx.
There you are, Patty Slinger. So mortal, so small, smaller than I even pictured, to be honest.
Okay, thank you for immediately trolling me.
You're in my world.
You're in my dream.
Oh, this isn't a dream. This is more real than anything your feeble brain could ever dream or imagine in 1,000 years.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I had a dream once. I could leap through posters on my wall, and then I'd immediately be in the actual location represented in said posters. So let's just say me and Tyra Banks had some Mai Tais on the Fijian beach that felt pretty fucking real, Abaddon.
Silence. Silence. What's your name, Patty Slinger? And who do you think you are?
Aren't those the same questions?
No, they most certainly are not. What is your name?
Marcus J. Trilbury.
All right. And who do you think you are? I want to hear you say it.
Onyx the Fortuitous, Slayer of the Bright Realm.
All right.
Okay, got it. Yeah, all right.
All right.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I got it. All right. Yeah, loud and clear. I hear you. Cool.
You are not the fortuitous one.
Duly noted.
I have seen the prophecy you foretell of. I could show him to you. Would you like to see what he looks like?
Okay, sure.
A portal opens up next to Abaddon, and we see a great warrior standing on a hilltop. He is very muscular. He looks like He-Man on steroids. On steroids. He is wearing a large metal helmet with a cross on it. The man removes the helmet to reveal long, flowing blonde hair. The soldier wields a large glowing sword and is covered in armor and various crosses. A lot of Christian iconography adorns this warrior, like a beefed-up crusader for Christ. Oh, and did we mention he's muscular? Very muscular? And oily, too.
This is a fortuitous one. Does he look like you?
No, sir, he does not.
No. Do you have those muscles?
Admittedly, I do not have the muscles that this gentleman has.
He's very strong.
Yeah,
he's
no.
Strong.
Yeah, he's a beefy bad boy. I got it.
And you, Marcus, are nothing. You're Ghost.
Ghost, yeah, I remember from before.
Abaddon does not have the time to court with ghosts. Be gone from my presence, weakling.
You crashed my dream, you piece of shit. Fuck you, Abaddon.
Fuck you, Onyx the Fartuitist.
Abaddon burps on Onyx, who covers his faces from the wind force. Interior Bartok estate bathroom. Onyx stands in the bathroom, covering his face. After a moment, he lowers his arms and looks into the mirror. Staring back at him is a ghoul version of himself. Onyx panics and begins to dig at his own face. As he does so, he pulls large chunks of dead blue flesh off his skull. Chunks of blue flesh fall into the sink. Ghoul Onyx continues to dig. His face is nearly entirely removed when Onyx begins to scream and eventually vomit bright green vomit into the sink. He vomits and vomits and vomits and then looks into the mirror to scream.
Oh, Jesus!
Interior Bartok estate, Onyx's room. Onyx wakes up in his bed. Mac sits at his side.
Jesus!
Mac touches his chest.
It's okay. Lay down. Lay down. You're okay now.
Onyx lays back in the bed. Max hands Onyx a drink.
Drink this.
What is it?
Ginger, turmeric, mint, elderflower, some other things that'll help your stomach.
I'm sorry, Z. I don't know what came over me.
It's okay. Your little episode was the perfect distraction Mr. Duke needed to sneak off and work on his translations.
Sick.
Onyx holds up a shaka hand gesture, but he's still feeling queasy. Mac gestures for him to drink. He does so.
Thanks for taking care of me.
That's what friends are for, Onyx.
Mac is a bit shocked at the words that came out of their mouth.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know what friends are and what their general responsibilities consist of.
Onyx laughs a shy laugh. Mac does too.
Drink up. Mr. Duke wants to rendezvous at midnight with his findings.
Yeah, no doubt. And rendezvous means to
meet up?
Right.
Mac looks away from Onyx and takes a deeper breath in.
Z, are you okay?
Mac continues to look off.
Should have known better.
Onyx isn't sure what they mean. Interior Bartok estate, Mr. Duke's room. Mr. Duke has constructed a large conspiracy collage on his wall. We see numerous writings and images from the grimoire and his journal splayed up in a seemingly randomized design. Mr. Duke stares at the images and words with his hands on his chin.
I should have known Bartok was just like every other asshole, only looking out for himself, only looking to bully us, make us feel low to get himself higher, get ahead no matter what the cost, no matter how much he's meant to us, no matter how much we've done for him. So stupid for thinking it could ever be anything else.
Interior Bartok's estate, Onyx's room. Onyx takes another sip of the concoction.
Well, it's not stupid to have faith in someone.
Mac wipes away a tear.
It's only stupid if we don't have faith in ourselves, too. So, but I have faith in you, Z. You have faith in me?
Mac looks toward Onyx.
I have faith in you, Onyx.
If we find out that Bartok's just another bad boy, then I have faith that we'll do everything in our power to kick his ass. How's that sound?
Mac wipes away their tears and steadies themselves.
That sounds fucking great.
They hold hands. Interior Bartok estate study. Bartok is preparing for the Ritual of Abaddon rising. He listens to music and looks into a 3-paneled mirror as Farah dresses him in extravagant robes.
That's all you saw.
Sorry.
In the dream, you saw the chubby one playing piano, smashing mirrors with a cane, nothing more.
Yes. What I saw is what I told you.
Farah places the tall ceremonial hat on Bartok's head.
Farah,
Yes, master.
why do you insist on mocking my intelligence?
Farah steps away from him.
Undermining my power. Deriding my virility.
Master, I...
Do not. You think he speaks to me.
Farah is confused. She shakes her head.
Do not you think Lucifer himself speaks directly to me?
Farah is silent.
The lies you've been spewing, the deceitful veil you've tried to weave over our eyes of your own maker.
Bartok walks to his painted portrait and pulls it off the wall. He throws it to the ground and the back faces upward.
What's the point of having a psychic demon bitch's power at my disposal if all she does is lie to me?
I didn't lie to you, master.
No. You chose not to tell me you sensed something when they first arrived. You chose not to tell me they witnessed the taking of a soul. You chose not to tell me they stole the fucking prophecy right out from underneath our noses.
He gestures to the painting.
They witnessed you take a soul because you chose to act in haste.
Bite your tongue.
That wasn't the plan. The plan was to shepherd them along, slowly take our time, gain their trust, influence them with my magic. Then one night in the blood moon, we take the souls, we fill the talisman all at once. But you pounced out of...
She was eager. You would have me turn down a willing participant?
God forbid.
If you refuse to tell me what you are sensing, what you are seeing, when you are seeing it, then I will take matters into my own hands. While you tinker with your crystals and toys, I will take action.
Bartok grabs the knife talisman off his desk and lifts it to Farah's throat.
You can't kill a demon with the knife of Dagon.
Correct. I can't kill you with it. But I can sever your head and place it in one of my display cases for eternity, shielded in unbreakable Nazarene glass. Your body, off in the graveyard, rotting for centuries, being picked apart by ravenous salamanders.
He is here.
Who?
The fortuitous one.
Bartok thinks. He can't believe what he is hearing.
The teacher?
The patty slinger.
Yeah, Lucky. Right.
Master,
How dare you mock me?
He presses the knife closer to her skull.
Master, I saw it. I saw him.
You saw the man of great destiny, the demon killer, the slayer of the bright realm?
Here within these walls.
Bartok lowers the knife and heads toward the door.
You
Master.
have done enough. Misled me long enough. The fortuitous one will die tonight at my hand. And then I will raise Abaddon, rule over the earth as the hellscape it was always meant to become. And you will be a head in a case, not alongside me as queen, but as a footnote in a story far more important than your own.
Bartok exits. Farah stares at the door in anger. Interior Bartok estate, Mr. Duke's room. Mr. Duke has a breakthrough. He begins to write in English across numerous drawings and symbols he has on his wall.
Yes. Yes!
He runs red thread between many pages and begins to move with excitement. With every loop of thread, he jabs a pin into the wall and steps back to survey his progress.
Of course. Of course.
He steps back and nods his head with pride. He looks down at his book, then back up to the board. We see him add drawings he's made of the Lycan, the Witch, the Viking, and the Queen. They form a pyramid of sorts, all leading to an empty slot at the top of the pyramid. Mr. Duke's eyes widen.
I see it all now. I see it all now. I see it all.
Mr. Duke slams a final pin in the wall. He has tacked the word, the fortuitous one, at the top of the pyramid. He steps back and covers his mouth. Interior Bartok estate hallway. Mac and Onyx creep out of his room slowly. Suddenly, the intercom clicks on.
Attention all attendees of Bartok, the Great's grand getaway. The blood moon will rise in approximately 1 hour. Please make your way downstairs for the final ritual, the rising of Abaddon, and the great gifting of immortality.
Onyx and Mac continue to sneak down the hallway, ignoring Farah's instructions. Interior Bartok estate, Mr. Duke's room. Mr. Duke sits writing feverishly in his journal. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door.
Hello?
Mr. Duke, I wonder if you have a moment to spare.
Mr. Duke writes a few last notes in his journal, then runs to the air vent. He pulls the vent out of the wall and shoves his journal inside. Interior Bartok estate hallway. Mr. Duke opens the door and greets Bartok.
Of course, I would be honored.
Bartok enters. Bartok looks at all of the work Mr. Duke has done on his conspiracy wall.
You truly are a man of studies.
Well, what can I say? Knowledge excites me.
Bartok is gripping the knife of Dagon behind his back.
Tell me, what knowledge have you discovered tonight?
Knowledge that you aren't who you said you are, and that your plan for us aren't what we are told.
Well, that's a matter of perspective, isn't it? I am offering you immortality.
You say immortality. I say eternal imprisonment.
Bartok makes his way into the room. Mr. Duke backs up.
You only gain the power of Abaddon by offering the demon the 5 souls. We would live eternally as your prisoners, trapped in the talisman until the end of time. Immortality? No. Underlying anguish and suffering as we remain cognizant of our never-ending state of purgatorial stasis. Yes, that's more like it.
Bartok looks up toward the top of the board. He sees the words, the fortuitous one, written in large letters.
Eh? Tomato.
Bartok reveals the knife of Dagon and slams it into Mr. Duke's chest. Mr. Duke screams in pain. Interior Bartok estate hallway. Mac and Onyx hear the scream and scurry down the hall. They reach Mr. Duke's door and rush inside the room. He is inside, taking down all of his writings and images.
Mr. Duke, are you okay? What did you find?
A smiling Mr. Duke turns around.
Don't be silly, I'm fine, and I found nothing other than the truth. That we must follow Bartok's words to the letter. And Join them for the final ritual.
Onyx leans in toward Mac.
Are you saying regular Mr. Duke or ghoul Mr. Duke?
What? Regular.
We see from Onyx's POV that Mr. Duke is now a blue, soulless ghoul.
Oh, yeah. Well, because he's definitely a ghoul now.
Mr. Duke begins to growl.
I think we should run.
Mr. Duke lunges at Max and Onyx. They dip toward the air vent. As they shimmy into the wall, Mr. Duke grabs at their heels. Onyx kicks him away as they make their way behind the wall. Mac finds Mr. Duke's journal, hidden just within the wall cavity. Mr. Duke hisses at them as they run deeper into the shadows. Interior Bartok estate inside the walls. Mac and Onyx run through the passage.
Keep your mouth closed. The cobwebs are something fierce.
Onyx gets cobwebs in his mouth.
Ah, fuck. Are you getting them or nah? Just me? Fuck, I'm choking on webs.
He spits the webs out of his mouth. Interior Bartok estate study. They enter the room through the secret panel. Mac plops Mr. Duke's journal down to the desk and opens it.
Why could I see the ghoul and you couldn't?
Onyx places his lunchbox down on the desk. Mac begins to read through Mr. Duke's journal.
Try to barricade the door.
Onyx moves to the doorway and looks for something to block it. He leans a cane against the door. That won't work. Mac reads the journal. Onyx tries some other shitty way to block the door. Mac reads the journal. Onyx finally moves something big in front of the door.
The crystals. Pharaoh was using them to control us, influence our thinking.
Mac tears the crystal off and throws it to the ground.
What else does it say? Did he have a plan? What do we do?
Yeah, he had a plan.
So what do we do? Light this place on fire and perish in the ashes? Build some kind of makeshift cannon out of paper clips and whiteout that we find inside Bartok's desk?
Mac rips a page out of Mr. Duke's journal and opens Onyx's lunchbox. Mac places the journal page into the lunchbox and closes it up.
No. I stay here and you go.
What? Go where? Stay here, why? They're gonna kill you, Z. Suck out your soul like some kind of demonic Dyson set on overdrive.
Mac places Onyx's lunchbox in his hands.
You have everything you need in here.
What do you mean? What's happening?
Mac takes Onyx's face in their hands. He slows down.
You have everything you need.
Mac backs away from Onyx and pulls the right horn on the mounted skull.
But I don't understand.
A trapdoor opens beneath Onyx and he disappears with a yelp.
What?
Exterior Bartok estate, cemetery. Onyx crashes out of a metal tunnel onto the hard soil beneath him. He stands alone, gripping his lunchbox in the fog-laden cemetery. Interior Bartok estate study. Mac grabs the intercom microphone.
Paging Mr. Bartok, paging Mr. Bartok. I'm in your office fucking up your shit. What are you going to do about it?
Mac begins to trash the items on the shelves. They lift numerous artifacts up and throw them to the ground with a shatter. Exterior Bartok estate, cemetery. Onyx kneels down and opens his lunchbox. He lays out every item on the soil. His tiny wine, a green minifig, the page from Mr. Duke's journal. He grabs the page and unfolds it. We see the first words on the page are, Dear Onyx. Onyx reads.
Dear Onyx, if you are reading this, I know things must be pretty grim. It looks as if you are all alone, facing something insurmountable. But I assure you, this isn't the case.
Interior Bartok estate study. Slow motion Mac continues to trash Bartok's stuff.
We, your friends, are with you. The prophecy of the Fortuitous One is clear. If the souls are collected underneath, the blood moon, a portal will open, leading directly to Abaddon's lair in hell.
The barricade fails and the doors to Bartok's study crash open. Farah, Bartok, and a parade of ghouls rush in. Exterior, cemetery. Onyx relaxes on his heels and continues to read Mr. Duke's letter.
If the Fortuitous One throws themselves into the pit, they will not be reborn. They will only be reborn. They will also have the power to reanimate the ones who have perished. All of this must be done under the gaze of the blood moon, lasting only 300 seconds.
Onyx's eyes search the items he's laid out on the ground in front of him. Interior, Bartok estate study. The mob grabs Mac and slams them down on Bartok's desk. Bartok raises the knife above Mac. He slams the knife down toward them. Exterior, Bartok estate cemetery. Onyx looks up toward the clouds. After a beat, they part, revealing the blood moon. Onyx is trying to do the math on 300 seconds.
That's 5 minutes.
Onyx nods. Got it.
Onyx, I cannot say whether or not you are the one the prophecy speaks of. That could not be determined by my studies. You must search within yourself and find what you know in your heart to be true. However, if you are not the fortuitous one, your death would undoubtedly be painful and very fiery. You will burn up alive, and you will fall toward Abaddon's pit miles and miles below the Earth's surfaces, fully awake and aware of the entirety of the fall, and quite possibly face further torture from Abaddon once arriving in his lair.
Onyx lowers Mr. Duke's letter and looks toward his bottle of tiny wine. He opens the bottle and swigs the entire thing. Onyx then looks towards the green minifig resting on the soil.
I have everything I need, huh?
Bartok, Farah, and the ghouls round the corner of the building, entering the cemetery.
Patty Slinger!
Onyx freezes.
The time has come. The blood moon is blessing us, and Abaddon is waiting.
Onyx grits his teeth and steadies himself. When he turns around, the group has encircled him. Mr. Duke, Shelley, Mac, and Angelique are all blue-skinned, globe-eyed ghouls. Onyx is wearing what looks to be one of Farah's green crystals around his neck.
Kneel and accept your fate.
Onyx nods his head, but doesn't kneel. Bartok looks at the necklace around Onyx's neck. He sees the green peridot crystal, then looks to Farah.
Put your magic to good use and make this fool do as I say.
Farah raises her hand and gestures toward the ground.
Kneel in the name of Bartok.
Onyx is seemingly compelled to kneel. His knees hit the dirt hard. Bartok and Farah step in front of him.
Let us begin. Hear me, Father. I have done as you asked. The talisman of souls is nearly full. You have commanded and I have obeyed. With this final offering, we make room for Abaddon.
Bartok nods toward Farah, who begins to pour a large bag of sand out in the shape of a pentagram, encircling the group. Onyx tries to stand, but can't. The peridot compels him to stay in place. He looks up at his friends, their faces contorted yet without emotion. Blank stares and slack-jawed glances are all they can put forth.
It's sad for you, I know. But they're not really in there anymore. They're in here.
Bartok shows him the jewel inside of the talisman.
Great things don't come to the weak, petty slinger. Great things come to great men who take great risk.
Bartok looks down in Onyx's hand.
What's this?
Bartok takes Mr. Duke's page and unfolds it. Onyx can't move or open his mouth. Bartok stands and reads as Farah finishes the pentagram. Onyx looks toward Farah with disdain. Bartok laughs to himself.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is cute, really. Sad, but cute.
Bartok looks toward Onyx.
Oh, no. You didn't think that you were the one the prophecy spoke of, did you?
He laughs.
If you believe that, then you're an even bigger fool than I imagined. Kind of fat, too.
Bartok rips up the pages and throws the pieces in the air. They float past Onyx as he stares up at Bartok. Lightning flashes. Bartok unsheaths the knife of Dagon and kneels down toward Onyx.
You know how I know you're not the fortuitous one?
Onyx looks at Bartok.
Because you don't impress me.
Bartok shoves the knife into Onyx's chest. Onyx wails in pain. Farah holds her hand out toward him, keeping him knelt and in place. Bartok stands, leaving the knife in Onyx's chest as his soul begins to leave his body.
Farah, the book.
Farah hands Bartok the grimoire. He opens it to the Ritual of Abaddon Rising.
Abadu Dambala, give me the power, I beg of you. Se quasi intenemas poada morte. Abadu Dambala.
He begins to speak the incantation. Lightning, more thunder, and a shit ton of wind. Onyx's eyes go white.
Of you, se Quas entiende mas e quas de
The
morte.
ground begins to split and crack. Orange light spills out from underneath the dispersing soil. Onyx's skin begins to turn blue.
Ade Dudambala, give me the power, I beg of you.
The pit opens wide. A blinding light shoots into the sky. Onyx looks down at the talisman, almost full of his soul.
Come to me. Give me the power, I beg of thee.
Onyx looks up at Bartok.
Hey, Bartok.
Bartok looks at Onyx.
I wanted to tell you something real quick. Before my soul goo is all gone.
Bartok stares unimpressed.
I just want to say.
Onyx mutters some unintelligible words.
What?
I just wanted to tell you that.
Even more unintelligible words.
What are you saying, Patty Slinger?
Bartok leans in to hear.
It's actually not one of Farah's crystals. It's a glow-in-the-dark ultra-green Zudamon variant. Surprised you didn't know that? So yeah, I'm free to do whatever the fuck I want.
Onyx headbutts Bartok, who falls backward, losing his balance and his tall hat. Onyx stands and runs toward the pit. Slow motion Bartok watches. Slow motion Farah watches. Slow motion ghouls watch. Onyx reaches the edge of the pit and stops. Nerves, perhaps? He stares down into the pit.
Oh, God. How deep does that hole go?
Onyx jumps in and disappears in a burst of light. Nothing happens. Farah and Bartok run over and look down into the pit.
Fool. My life's work gone in a flash because you couldn't do as you were told.
They stand.
You couldn't keep them in line. You couldn't protect years of my work over a single weekend.
I spent a decade meditating on that fucking mountain. I bought this land to locate the talisman. I spent my life planning for this single night. Only to be undone by an imbecilic nobody and a succubus shrew. For what? But a flaccid show of futile bravery unto nothing?
Let him rise.
Let him rise.
What?
Let him rise.
Let him rise.
What?
The ghouls begin to chant.
Let him rise. Let him rise.
Let him rise.
What are they saying? What are they saying?
Let him
rise.
Let him rise.
Farah and Bartok back away from the pit as a howling sound is heard from the depth.
Let him rise.
Let him rise.
Suddenly, Onyx the Fortuitous shoots up out of the pit and levitates above the cemetery. His robe has mostly burned away, revealing Heathcliff Underoos underneath. His eyes are glowing white, and he holds a large glowing sword at his side. It looks like an enlarged, amplified version of the Knife of Dagon, with a talisman still affixed to the end. He begins to slowly fly and levitate around Bartok and Farah.
I'm flying. That's crazy. Look, I can like come down and then, but then like just go back up if I want. It's weird because I feel like I need to be walking in the air, like moving my feet. But I mean, you really can just float. Wild.
Eventually, he lands in front of Bartok and Farah.
I stand before you now, not as the man you once knew me to be, but as a man reborn, no longer made of earthly flesh and bone, but built of supernatural sinew and metaphysical muscle, not unlike the genetic build of angels and demons who wage forever war in opposing realms. For I am much like cyborg Vicky from 1985's beloved sitcom Small Wonder, but instead of a voice input child identikit hell-bent on protecting the Lawsons from harm, my acronym stands for omnipotent, nomad, yielding Xenogees as the offspring of no man and the descendant of the nether realm, dedicated to restoring my friends' souls and sealing the hell portal, which I intend to do thusly.
Onyx turns to walk toward the ghouls. Bartok picks up the shovel they used earlier in the cemetery and runs toward him. Bartok moves to slam the shovel down on Onyx's head, but Onyx lifts a single finger and the shovel stops in midair. Onyx flicks his wrist and Bartok is sent flying. Onyx approaches Mr. Duke and raises his sword toward him. Onyx looks up toward the sky. The blood moon is already disappearing as dark clouds begin to enshroud it.
Only 5 minutes. Quick, ghoul buddies, single file.
Onyx motions for all the ghouls to align in single file formation. They do so.
This is going to feel weird for a bit, but then feel real good because you'll get your souls back.
Onyx aims the sword toward Mr. Duke's chest.
When in doubt, skewer it out.
Onyx shoves the sword into Mr. Duke's chest. The soul goo begins to exit the talisman and travel down the blade of the sword into Mr. Duke's body, then into Shelley's body behind him, then Mac, then Angelique. Farah runs and grabs the shovel off the ground. She stands above Bartok.
Our father was wrong to choose you. His faith in foolish men never ceases to amaze me.
All I've done for you, Farah. The life I've given you, this is how you repay me?
Farah cuts her own hand with the shovel's edge and wipes her blood across Bartok's forehead.
What are you going to do, kill me?
No, worse.
Farah slams the shovel into Bartok's head. He falls backward onto the ground. Farah bends down and speaks a dark prayer over Bartok as he takes his final breaths. Farah raises the shovel high in the air, then brings it down with force into Bartok's neck, severing his head from his body. Onyx holds the large sword steady as the souls are returned to all of his friends. After they are replenished, he pulls the sword from their bodies and they collapse. He turns and approaches Farah. She turns toward Onyx.
Onyx, now is the time, what I spoke about in your dreams.
What?
The way forward for you, for us.
Farah grabs Onyx's collar.
Like a sexy way?
If the fortuitous one joins with the demon, they can take Abaddon's power and rule together as king and queen.
When you say join with a demon, you mean to like...
Fuck.
Get married? Oh, fuck. Yeah, got it. Yeah, so reign with you in hell, or leave my friends behind? Or stay here with them and be without my demon bride?
Farah pulls Onyx in close.
I knew it was you all along. I know you could feel me too, guiding you, pulling you through. Stay with me, Onyx. Together, hell can be what we make of it. Slave to no master with a kingdom to call our very own.
Yeah, but my friends.
Onyx looks over to everyone. They are weak, but slowly coming back to life. Farah grows angry. The pit begins to close.
This is our last chance, Onyx. Be with me now or leave me, and forever be my enemy.
I'm sorry, Farah. I can't reign with you in hell. My place is here, with...
Farah shrieks in anger as wings sprout from her back. Onyx steps back and raises his sword.
With what? A band of losers and nobodies? Is that what you want? Over loyalty and exaltation?
Onyx is speechless.
Then take your rightful place as the leader of the fucking... That's not the right word. Then take your rightful place as the leader of the forever forsaken fugly fuck-ups.
Farah has transformed into a full demon, horns and all. She flaps her wings and lifts off the ground.
Farah!
I will find greater purpose in hating you than I could ever find in loving you. Farewell, Onyx the Fortuitous, until we meet again in your nightmares.
Everyone gathers around Onyx and watches as Farah flies across the blood moon and the portal closes. Every person is a new version of themselves. Shelley looks like a Viking warrior, Angelique an ancient queen, Mr. Duke is half wolf, and Mac looks like a powerful tree nymph witch.
You're better off without her, fortuitous one.
Yeah, I think you're...
Onyx looks toward everyone and sees their transformation.
Oh, shit. You're all transformed? That's tight. That's, that's fucking... Yeah, that's cool. That's tight.
Onyx looks down at Bartok's dead body separated from its head.
Yeah, so he's dead.
Everyone nods in agreement. Exterior Bartok estate, front porch day. Many months later, on the front porch of the estate, a hand knocks on the door. Interior Bartok estate, front area. The door opens as the organ sound chimes. We reveal Todd and Nancy standing on the porch with luggage. Onyx, dressed in Bartok's ceremonial garb and tall hat, greets them.
Welcome to Briardale Manor.
Interior Bartok estate, various rooms. Onyx and his family walk through the house. Shelley's kids run by them, laughing and giggling.
This is our room of focus and meditation. Currently, our resident witch is using it to hone their newfound insights and skills.
We see Mac levitating while meditating.
Hey.
Todd and Nancy are confounded. Interior Bartok Estate study. Onyx opens the doors to the study to reveal a wolfman, Mr. Duke, reading at Bartok's desk.
This is the study. You'll find volumes upon volumes of satanic writings. If you've got a taste for knowledge, it can be quenched within these walls.
Mr. Duke smiles a fang-filled smile in Todd's direction. Todd is unnerved. Interior Bartok Estate dining room. Onyx swings open the doors to the dining room. Shelley and Angelique set food down on the table. Shelley's kids run through the room.
But here's where we'll take our lunch, a place set for everyone. Please drop your bags, get comfortable. You're our guests, and we'll be treated as such.
Todd and Nancy drop their bags, but more out of shock. Suddenly, we hear the piano intro for I Do Anything for Love begin to play from the ritual room.
I'm being summoned. Excuse me?
Interior ritual room. Onyx walks into the ritual room to find Mac waiting for him with an outstretched hand.
I'd be honored.
Onyx takes their hand, and the two begin to dance. Shelley, Mr. Duke, Angelique, Nancy, Todd, and Shelley's kids all gather in the ritual room. Onyx and Mac dance and begin to levitate off the ground. The group claps for them as they swirl around and float with power and elegance. Shelley and Angelique hold hands. Soon everyone begins to dance, except for Nancy and Todd. After a moment of taking in the madness, Todd leans in toward Nancy.
I think you're muted, Ryan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
He's your kid, not mine.
Exterior Bartok Estate front porch. We still hear the music from inside. We pull away from the house until we are framed on a wide shot of the entire property.
I love dancing. Yeah, just makes you feel loose.
Cut to credits. After credits scene, exterior Bartok Estate, cemetery, night. We drift through the cemetery and deep into the woods. Through the thickets and bristle and brush, we see Farah. She is sitting on a broken tombstone, as if it is a throne of sorts. On her lap is a spectral manifestation of Bartok's severed head. Farah has a chain leading from a collar on Bartok's neck to her hand.
Bartok.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. I thought I was gone.
That's all good.
What page?
You thought page 127.
Well, 127 coming up. Hang on, everybody. Wait.
We surprised you with an after credit scene.
Holy shit, man. Sorry.
Always
I
remember
was going
the
to stick around after the credits.
Yeah.
I'll do that later.
When do we get our revenge?
Soon, but we must have patience. We must wait until the time is right. And when it is, we make his life a living hell. Understand?
Yes, master. As you wish, master.
Farah smiles a ghastly smile. Farah and Bartok's head begin to laugh and laugh and laugh. Cut to black.
The end. Thank you.
Yay!
Well, I want to thank all of our amazing performers that joined us tonight. Thank you all so much. Round of applause for you.
Thank you.
And I want to thank everybody that showed up to the live stream. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing the link. And again, this is all in support of the Kickstarter for the feature film that you just saw us read through, Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. Consider backing the Kickstarter today at onyxthemovie.com. And thank you all once again for joining us. Have a good night.